Fast, the speedrunning game show of fast times and sharp minds. I'm your host, Swoos.
And I'm also your host, Sparkle.
You're not Corvame, that's new. Oh.
Hey.
Well,
oh, sorry, I just found myself in here. I didn't mean to intrude or anything, but I thought I'd make myself present in place of Corvame.
Yeah, for our introduction for Season 4, I would like everyone to welcome the newest co-host of Think Fast, the Lithuania denier, Sparkle.
I don't know what you mean by that, but hey, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm so excited. I'm just going to be along here for the ride of my first hosting job here because I have no idea what's happening. Swoos is going to be holding my hand a lot, and that's okay. It's a learning experience. Yes, back to you.
But anyways, tonight, Echoes of Trivia. We're listening to some Zelda and audio trivia with the Glubbers and Joash. I'm sure everyone knows the rules, but just to be safe, this is Think Fast, the speedrun game show. Our contestants will race for the best time in The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, but with a catch. Sparkle and I can interrupt whenever we feel like to ask a trivia question, and if a runner answers right, we'll take some seconds off their final time. There is no penalty for guessing wrong, but focus too hard on answering the question, and your run might suffer. For all of you lovely folks watching and listening in chat, feel free to play along as well. How are both of you runners feeling going into tonight's race?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready to answer some trivia about my favorite thing, which is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, presumably. Definitely not Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think I'm also feeling good. We'll see how much I remember of this game, because I have come to realize that it could be very easy to forget things about this game in particular, considering I've spent the majority of it now on the speedrun. But hey, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Well, if y'all are ready to go, are you ready to go?
Yeah,
ready to go.
Ready whenever.
Ready, sir.
Without further delay, it is time to think fast in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So we're going to be thinking pretty fast here. But first and foremost, we're going to be playing Echoes of Wisdom. We're going to be doing first a race of all dungeons, which is a category where, you guessed it, you do all the dungeons. Now, we're going to start out with a short segment where we play Link, and I'll let Joash talk a little bit about how the run's kind of formulated.
Yeah. So to go over a couple of small details about the run in general. First of all, we are playing on version 1.0, which is the earliest build of the game. This run that we're doing right now currently, well, not currently, but it does not work on the latest patch because of one major glitch that we use in this run, that it does not work on the latest version, so we're playing on 1.0. Another thing is, you might also notice that we are playing on the German version of the game, and main reason for the German version is that mainly just less text boxes, but the biggest one is when we activate a warp, normally on English that is 2 text boxes. However, in German it is only 1. So those are 2 main things, like right off the bat, to get us rolling with this. We'll be doing this will be the same case for both this and the category we'll be doing after that, which we'll get more into the category we're doing after all dungeons when we get there. But yeah, like Glover said, the goal is to complete all the dungeons, and we have some really neat tricks up our sleeves to be able to do that pretty quickly, just a little under 2 hours. So I hope you guys are ready.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time. So I am going to clarify something real quick, because this is not really the most obvious thing. You might be saying, what exactly does it mean to beat a dungeon? It's kind of just a subjective thing, right? You can come up with a different definition. So what we're going to be using as the definition for beating a dungeon is, after every dungeon, there's going to be a warp point activated. All we have to do is activate that warp point and say, yes, we would like to exit the dungeon. So that is how the game, in the all dungeons unrestricted category, which is what we're doing, defines beating the dungeon. And that is going to come into play here in a while. So, just
it is worth noting that. Oh, excuse me. It is worth noting on that note that I believe there is also there is a line of code that when you do press yes on that prompt to warp out of the dungeon at the end, that the prompt is called something like dungeon finish or something like that. And like Glover said, in the unrestricted version of this, all we have to do is just hit that warp, which in one particular instance of one specific dungeon, you'll see why we have to specify the warp in particular for the finish. But in the restricted category of all dungeons, we're required to beat all the bosses as our requirement for the dungeons. But for this category, yeah, like Glover said, we just have to get to the end.
Yeah, so you guys are in for a... Considering this is a new game, it's not the most broken thing in the world, but for a game that's a little over a month old now, coming up on 2 months, it's quite a broken mess, and we're going to navigate it and do at least a majority of the core gameplay. So it'll be a fun little thing. And this intro part that we're in right now is kind of a relatively on-rails segment, as some people would put it, where we're just kind of going to go and escape the Southern Ruins here with Zelda and go through the beginning of the game where not a whole lot's happening other than just setting the stage for what the rest of the run will be. So it ends up being pretty much just walking around where you're trying to escape this rift that's chasing after Zelda and getting away from it, and oh no, why is everything going all haywire? What is this purple rift madness going to be? And
oh no,
setting the stage.
They just remade Temple Run, right?
Yeah, they remade Temple Run,
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, Sweets made a funnier joke. Okay, never mind.
So first we remade Temple Run, then we remade Metal Gear Solid.
Whoa.
Or, sorry, Metal Gear, not Metal Gear Solid. You guys remember Metal Gear for the NES?
and then we remade Breath of the Wild here in about 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah, they did it a third time.
Yeah. It was so good. It was so good the first time, let's do it a third time.
Oh, look at that. There's
Oh, wow, so beautiful.
all of Hyrule, except this time it looks like Duplos.
What are Duplos?
They're
Big
Legos that are for toddlers so they don't accidentally swallow them.
They're not even the largest type of Lego either.
Wait, they're not?
Tune into our previous
Oh, really?
Lego themed episode we had a couple months ago. There's the so one Quattro, or yeah, so it's a Quattro. It's like a 2x2 of Duplo, which is a 2x2 of Lego.
I
They're
see.
gigantic.
Huh. Aren't the kids
Okay,
all about
anyways.
they're all about mega blocks now, aren't they? That's the rage these days.
Mega
Is
blocks?
it?
I don't know.
Maybe in
I
like
just
2012.
I saw them at Target. That's got to count for something.
I don't think I've heard of Mega Blocks, but this is making me think of like Kinects and like Bionicles and all of that stuff.
Okay.
Mega Blocks are just like knockoff Lego, basically.
Well, I just know that I worked at Target last year, and then this kid came with his mom, and he was like, "Hey, where are the Mega Blocks?" I had no idea what he was talking about. I was like, "I don't think we have Mega Blocks here." It turns out we had a whole aisle of only Mega Blocks. I had no idea. I felt so bad for the kid. It was like 30 minutes later.
we have Lego, they're better.
Next to the Super Blocks. Man, they make all of these like discount Lego things, but everybody just goes for the Legos themselves. Lego is like way too well established. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat Lego at this point.
No, definitely. Lego is the like Disney of building blocks.
Building blocks, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Connecting building blocks.
Yeah, and like they're not even the OG. That's Lincoln Logs.
True.
Oh yeah, I
Link in
forgot about
logs.
Lincoln
Oh, I get
Logs.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's funny.
Okay,
We already
so,
had an
goodness.
episode called Lincoln Park. Come on.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh yeah, you're right.
that's one
That's
more.
for
Can't
the
believe Linkin
true
Park's
think fast
still
heads.
so
Like me,
something-
I'm a think fast head. Ask me anything,
something
think fast. I'd know it.
kind of funny here. if you guys have played this game in English, we have General Right and Minister Left next to the king on his right and left, respectively. In the German version, the General Right does translate to General Right, but Minister Left is not Minister Left in German, because if it were Minister Left in German, her name would be Link. Or Link with an E on the end.
I actually did not know that.
I thought the joke would be she'd be minister wrong.
I was looking up trivia for this game when I was writing questions, and one of the trivia that I found was General Right and Minister Left are a reference to the words left and right. And I'm like, wow, no way.
Because you
Wow,
need the left and right
incredible.
Joy-Cons to play this game, obviously. Hello?
That is incredible deep lore. Like, no one would ever think of that.
No one was.
So that is not a question, unfortunately.
I wish it was.
But
You want a real question, though?
I would love a real question.
Yes.
Hit it.
I got you. What is the first canon Zelda game that does not credit Miyamoto?
The Majora's Mask.
No.
I'm gonna go with Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
A little bit farther in the future, if you want to hint.
All right, farther in the future. So they haven't made a Zelda set in the modern day yet, but this one does actually come pretty close. So I'm going to say Echoes of Wisdom.
It is.
Good job.
All right.
This is the first canon Zelda because I don't think any of like the CDI Zelda games credited him for good reason, but it's the first like mainline one that Miyamoto's not credited in any capacity in.
That's interesting. That's a little bit of a double there on in the future. I know that you probably meant the actual like future, but
Physical future, yeah.
one thing that they did semi-confirm, Aonuma semi-confirmed about the timeline in this game, is that they originally had the premise for this game to be so far in the future that nobody knew the term Triforce anymore. So that's why it's called the Prime Energy in this game, and that is a spoiler.
I wanted to do something about the timeline, but I could not figure where this game sat in the timeline because I don't really think anyone knows for sure, like, concrete answer. So
There's definitely not a concrete answer now.
yeah,
I mean, I feel like at this point, Nintendo's not trying that hard to place their latest games in the timeline.
I feel like they want to just like erase the official timeline from ever existing.
No, they actually
that's what-
updated it.
They
Before
did?
this game came out, they included Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as their own branch that's not connected to anything.
No, that's their way of like saying, do not care about this. Like literally, it doesn't mean anything.
does not
Reminder,
matter.
we can have as many timelines as we want.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Yeah, not everything needs to be connected to Ocarina of Time.
Link defeats
Well, it's the
Ganon,
best
Link
game ever
dies,
made.
Link has a bowl of cereal in the morning, like you name it. It's all there.
Well, they need a
You know,
modern day set Zelda where Ganon's like the school bully.
You know, it does
High
remind me
school,
of
I mean,
Peaceful.
there's definitely a lot of high school AU content of anything out there, so Zelda would not be restricted of that.
Yeah, and they did give Zelda a motorcycle in what's that called? Age of Calamity.
Dude, true.
Oh yeah, the
Breath of the Wild
cycle, the
Hyrule
zero
Warriors.
cycle or whatever.
Yeah. They gave her, and they also gave Link a motorcycle. That one was probably the easier answer there. That was in Breath of the Wild. I probably could have gone with the easier answer there.
True.
It's just the DLC that I never really played. So now we're
I
going to
remember I
do
was disappointed in this
go ahead.
cycle when. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. I remember I was disappointed in the cycle when I originally got it because it was slower than my horse. And I was like, well,
Was it actually slower than some horses?
I think it was, and you had to fill it up with gas, which is
Oh.
essentially your materials.
What?
I was like, well, it needs maintaining apparently.
So we're just going to
Anyway.
breeze on through the guard sequence here, where we just go right on by these guards, and they're never looking our direction at all, because, yeah, that's totally how that works. I was definitely not right in front of some of them, and they were following me.
Yep, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
As I always say, sneak 100. Sneak increased.
And that's what I meant by Metal Gear. They very much so saw you just climb up some boxes, or I guess tables, and then they're like, oh, she's gone. Where did she
Must
go?
have been the wind.
Must have been the wind.
Yeah, like Skyrim. An arrow coming out of their knee. Must have been the wind. Well, that's how the arrow got there.
Their friend dies next to them. Well, guess it was nothing.
It happens. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh no, not another rain of arrows. The natural disaster. Oh.
Also, I gotta say, for this cutscene right here, I gained so much respect for Impa coming up here, and it made me wish that we had an Impa Echo. And if you haven't seen this cutscene before, you will see why.
This is the best cutscene.
I love this cutscene.
As a first-time viewer.
Hi, first-time viewer.
Oh. First time viewer, long time better.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Ninja Granny.
And she slowly
Ninja
walks back.
Granny.
I like that.
I call this the Ninja Granny cutscene.
She does slowly walk back as if she couldn't even do that.
No one saw that.
And what's funny is later in the game, she's like in jail, and I personally think that she handed herself in, because like there's no way she got caught. Like, I don't believe it.
No, she is.
Also, we can get some extra jumping distance here through these gaps by doing a spin, because now we can do a spin to get some extra distance. So you will be seeing a lot of spinning throughout this run. It's basically the replacement of rolling from older Zelda games.
I'm glad that you were the one to handle the momentum jumps, because I did do that table thing that you know for a fact I figured out yesterday.
It's kind of like the Paper Mario 64 spin.
It is kind of like that, isn't it?
It is.
It's like that, or like
I don't even relate it
Crash.
to that, huh?
Except we don't have to do a
Crash.
jump.
When you spin and crash, it doesn't do anything for your momentum. It's just a hitbox around you. I mean,
it depends on the game.
There's upgrades and stuff. I don't know. I've
Like
played
spin
one.
sliding in
You know, it's
Crash
funny
2
you
is
say
the
that.
main
The only
source
Crash
of
game
movement.
I've played is Wrath of Cortex, and apparently that's the bad one. So I got owned.
Yeah, that's probably why.
It was one of the 3 games on my brother's PS2, and I would just sneak into his room and play random games like Lego Star Wars and Crash Bandicoot.
Go watch a Crash 2 speedrun and tell me spinning isn't useful.
Yes, sir.
The only Crash game I've ever played was Crash Tag Team Racing, so my brain was so confused when you were talking about spinning.
Oh, I've also played Crash Purple on Game Boy Advance.
Oh no.
What is Crash Purple?
I've never even heard of that.
There's Crash
God.
Purple and Spyro Orange. They're like Game Boy like mashup games.
It's
and
really
they were
dumb.
Bad.
It's
Yeah.
I didn't think this was Pokemon.
And I thought the deep lore Spyro was Season of Ice and Fire.
That's down there, but yeah, there's both Spyro and Crash had like a very dark era, just a lot of bad games, and those are part of them.
There's
And here I am, having only played the original.
Go watch our previous Crash and Spyro episodes, because we sure reference them there, because they're deep enough cuts to make it into a question.
yeah, fair enough.
Anyways, speaking of questions,
Ooh.
in which 2 canon games does Zelda not appear at all?
Link's Awakening and
That's one.
And
I want to say
depends on
Pain
if we count
Hourglass,
Pain
but
Hourglass.
Petra's there. Yeah, because technically Zelda's there, but she's not Zelda.
Triforce Heroes.
It's Triforce Heroes.
That actually is a good game.
Well, that was 1-1 for each of you, right? I think that
yeah.
breaks even.
Yeah, Josh got the other one, and then I got Triforce.
Still neck and neck.
Oh man.
Yeah, the next lowest appearances of Zelda is Majora's Mask, where she appears once in a flashback, but otherwise does not
Yeah,
appear
she
at all
barely
in
made it
Awakening or Twilight Force Heroes. That is 10 seconds for both of you.
Nice. So we're gonna get world records, what I'm hearing.
You know,
I mean, that was
as
the plan,
we always
so-
say, if the leaderboard mods say it's okay to include your trivia bonus time as your final time, I will not complain. So,
Oh yeah, speaking of the
Let's
leaderboard,
get-
haven't you
let's
two
get
had a
that
little bit of
150.
you two have had a little bit of a back and forth recently, and by recently I mean the past like 2 days. Want to
Yeah.
elaborate on
Yeah.
that?
All right, so it actually goes back a little bit further than that. So while like preparing for this, going back a little bit over a week ago, I want to say a week ago Sunday, right? I was preparing for this, and we're going to do any percent restricted after this, which isn't a category I normally run all that much. I've done it in the past, but I wanted to be prepared. So I ended up running it a little bit, and I got record. And then I went to bed after that, and I woke up the next morning, and I went to work. Before I was off of work, when I was at my lunch break, Joish had bopped me. And so that sat for close to a week until last night, where I got record in any percent restricted back from Joish. And then today, was preparing for this, and he bopped me 3 hours ago.
Just a little practice run, no big deal.
so I mean, the stakes are high going into this race, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what I'm
but
saying.
more or less, the competition has already begun. Like before this race had even started, it's already begun.
Yeah. We've been having a little bit of a friendly competition the whole time, except for he's been consistently ahead of me in all dungeons. So it's not really been a competition. It's just been like, hey, you're better than me on this one.
I'm gonna get this fantasy bracket locked in for any percent restricted coming up.
If we can do write-ins, I would write in TGH for that.
Yeah,
he's-
UGH is probably going to destroy that record.
Yeah. Well, so ideally, one of us gets a time that is not the easiest to beat,
See, that is the goal, is to get a world record that someone would have to at least work for.
Exactly. That's like one of the things that's kind of weird in my mind about speedrunning is like, if your goal is record, your goal is to get a run that cannot be beaten. Your goal is to stop playing this thing that you've put thousands of hours into. And, yay?
Yeah, that is true. Well, it kind of reminds me of Majora's Mask 3D All Masks. For a while, when Asteroid Moonwarp was found for that game, I was the only one doing the All Mask category for a long time. And so I moved down the world record for that category a good bit, and then when it finally got beaten, it was like a good measurement into how well I was able to optimize it just by myself. So it's like, I don't know. It kind of goes back to that whole thing of you hope that it's something that someone would have to work for.
Yeah, I would definitely want something that's like not the easiest to beat. Granted, I only have currently, because you took that record, I have one world record in anything ever, and it's a Twilight Princess category nobody runs, so nobody's going to beat that record because I'm the only one that would want to.
Hey, a record is a record, so good enough.
And I got my first rupee, so that's wonderful. That's another throwback to Twilight Princess right there. We have rupee text in this game, everybody. That was my favorite part of Twilight Princess.
Did you say rupees?
Yes.
Well, have I got the question for you?
Ooh.
All right, you ready for this one?
I think I have the money for it.
All right. In Link, The Faces of Evil, there's a famous shop owner named Morshu. What is the total amount of words he speaks in the game?
Ooh.
339.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say,
Close.
are we talking about like the text or like the
in his
acting?
in his voiced acted cutscenes, yes.
3.
No.
I was really certain of that too.
It is between those two, and it's on the lower side.
All right,
8.
so it's not 1 or 2.
Correct.
Wait, it's actually 8?
It is.
Wait, is it
no,
8?
it is not. No.
Oh.
I was saying correct too. It's not 1 or 2. More than that.
Let's go.
12.
Nope.
15.
Okay, I'm getting there.
Is it
21?
Oh, sir.
29?
3.
Ooh, very close.
26?
You're doing the thing where you go back down when you're close.
Ooh, 30? 31?
There you go.
There we go.
Aw.
So, a fun fact about this is that the second to last thing he says, he says, come back when you're richer. I didn't count as a word. So that would be 32, but I put it at 31. So any diehard Morshu fans in chat may have a problem with this amount, but this is the conclusion I've come to.
So, in my mind, the thing that went through my mind was nothing to do with the game at all, but it was more, did you know that there is a YouTube video that is not AI, that is just somebody doing a mashup of the voice lines to make everything sound kind of like the Bible, the entire Bible.
Oh, yes, I've seen that. It's like, what, 100 hours long
No, it's
or
like
something?
3 hours long, and I was sent it, and I actually listened to like 2 hours of it.
It's got to be like 100 hours long.
No,
Yeah, I
Hold
thought
on,
it was
I'm gonna
like,
search
more
Morshu
than first
Bible.
book.
It's 11 hours.
11.
Okay, well,
Oh,
I guess you
wow.
were closer, but still. No, it's
Wait, there's
83.
another one.
Yeah,
There's
it's 83 hours.
Okay, that must have been part
It must have
1.
been like
Yeah.
the Book of Genesis or something.
3 days, 11 hours, 6
Oh,
minutes, and 42
Lord,
seconds
okay.
is this video.
Well, there was a
I mean,
I
single.
forgot that the
makes
YouTube
sense.
time code does that. It has days as a metric. That's really funny.
Yeah. I thought the longest YouTube video you can upload is 12 hours. I don't know how you get
I know
around
that
that.
like after you have a certain subscriber count, you can upload to like 24 hours, if I remember correctly.
Maybe.
But I don't know how you get beyond that. Oh, and
Is your
to-
subscriber count high enough for more Shoe Bible?
exactly.
Important.
And just to not gloss over the game, we have the ability to turn into Link, but he's blue. So it's not really Link, it's Blink. And the B stands for blue. So yeah, we'll do that a lot. It's actually one of the more interesting parts of this game, in my opinion, is the fact that you have to like manage your sword fighter form, is what we call it. So you have to manage your energy meter, which is a nice little niche for the game, right? So it creates this change in routing that makes one of the minor things that just makes this game fun.
I think I read a thing where early in development, when Link was still the main character for this, they had the echoes, but then they realized that people were 90% using sword more often than the echoes, so like the echoes were hardly being used, and so I think that's partly why they went the route for the sword fighter mode, which I mean, it makes sense if you're focusing more on the echoes to kind of balance it out that way.
Yeah, although I do, I've heard at one point, like around when the game came out shortly after, that something that I still agree would have been a nice thing. So you can level up your sword level, and one thing that I would have liked a lot in this game is if they had made level 3 sword just be unlimited meter, because you can upgrade the meter itself, but they did not do that. And that is an interesting choice, because after a certain point, when you're in like end game, I should be making that kind of choice myself, I feel like, you know? But that's just me.
Sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
You get golden spiders? That's scary. Sorry, I've never played this game.
Yeah, so we
Terrifying.
get golden spiders. They're called they are Waltulas.
Something Tulas.
Yeah. And then we'll later get the Crawltula. Whoa. And there is a fight against a spider later. This game has a lot of spiders.
It does have a lot of spiders. Yeah, I remember when I got the 2 spider echoes, I remember thinking to myself, I hope people aren't too scared of spiders for this game.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of Zelda games have some sort of spider adjacent, like the Tula, branch of enemies is like pretty common, but it's like a lot of Zelda games have them.
Yeah,
I guess it's just because spiders are easy to put in the game and have it be scary.
and they did also, like they do with Goma, every time Goma shows up, Goma's a different bug again. This time Goma's a spider, so not a bug.
I see.
Back to the OG.
Just back to the OG. And so this is going to be the first boss of the first dungeon here. This is the Seismic Talus.
Notably not a spider.
Notably not a spider. And made of rock.
This is true.
So he's a lobster.
True. That's how classification works.
That's also how songs work. He was a rock lobster.
What does that mean?
You guys
I
don't
get it.
I don't think Sparkle did.
I'm not following, no.
You don't know the
Anyways.
song Rock Lobster?
I've heard of it. Don't ask me about songs, please. I will get made fun of.
Hey, I got a song question.
All right, hit me with it.
Ironically, well, more likely intentionally, what was the very first music video to air on MTV?
Ooh, that is a cut back. Okay, so MTV probably came around in the 80s, if I had to guess, if not the
think it was-
70s.
I think it was 88?
88.
see.
Oh,
Michael Jackson, maybe?
81.
81. Okay, it could have been a
81.
Jackson thing. Was he
Could
on
have
his
been.
own then, or was he still in the Jackson 5?
The name of the song is very relevant to MTV existing.
Ooh, okay.
Well,
Let's.
if we're thinking Michael Jackson, I might just at least go ahead and throw out Beat It, maybe?
No,
No? Okay.
it is not. I wouldn't say it's a very popular song. It's kind of popular because of this like anecdote, but otherwise, it's not like Jackson level popular.
Okay, so it's a little bit more
Nor
niche.
are the artists that made it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Let's go with. I'm just gonna throw out Jolene because I don't personally like that song or Dolly Parton very much.
No, the artist for the song is the Buggles.
The Buggles?
the Boggle.
Yep.
That,
Are you sure that's
funny.
not the Bugles?
Nope. It is the Buggles. There's 2 G's.
That is interesting.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's go. So it's probably a cover song then, if I had to wager a guess.
Nope.
Is it?
It's original.
It's no.
Well, sort of. Yeah. It's like. Hang on.
You might have me
Nope,
stumped on
it
this
is an
one.
original.
It is okay. Huh. That really just makes me want to go with like Beatles songs as like a parody cover, Weird Al style almost from like the early 80s.
Yellow Submarine. There, I guess.
I have a feeling y'all aren't gonna get this.
Oh,
So-
I'm not sure that I'm gonna get it. Yeah.
All right, I think we'll call it. It is Video Killed the Radio Star,
Oh.
Oh.
which is why it is ironic because MTV.
You know, that does make sense. I didn't know who actually did Video Killed the Radio Star.
Yeah, I don't think I would have ever gotten that one.
That is a really interesting piece of trivia, though. I like that. So in the game, however, where video did kill the radio star, radio wasn't invented yet. We're just kind of doing some post-first dungeon stuff where we have to set the scene yet again. We're about to get to some of the glitchy stuff, but first we have to watch this cutscene, which is going to let us later upgrade our sword. Like I mentioned before, we want to manage meter, but we also do want to eventually get a level 2 sword. We'll get that actually after the next dungeon. But all of what we're doing right now in Blueberry's house here, where if you watch it pan out, he is like in this blue void, and I don't really get it. Like, as it's panned in, it kind of looks like, yep, there's the blue walls there. Wait for towards the end of the cutscene, or if you caught it when the cutscene started, you'll see how when you're actually in control of the character in this room, it's a floating room in blue void space. It's really weird. I don't know.
It's prime real estate.
Yeah.
Bro stuck in the blue raspberry dimension.
Yeah. The blue raspberry dimension. And then, like, everything in Blueberry's house is confusing. He has, like, his vegetables and all of that, but there's a fish in there. There's like a pumpkin that's a really tiny pumpkin, nowhere near the food. He's got a weird house.
He's got an orange on his floor. And I just noticed something else, just this moment. His window at the back, it's got the sun, shining through it. Isn't that window facing directly against the mountain wall?
That is facing a wall, yes.
So, where's that sun coming from?
It's a really good question. The other thing that you'll notice when the game pans out is that, like, the staircase there and the light that Joash was mentioning, there's just kind of a bit of white behind the window there, and that's why it's white. And then again, the staircase is just, like, kind of jutting out from below. It's like they just forgot to put texture there, or didn't care to.
Yeah, this sure is a house.
It's an interesting.
Look at that. Look, how is sun getting through that? There's even a shadow on that spot where the window is. What do you mean?
Honestly, consider my belief suspended. Or disbelief, yes.
Yeah.
Time is different in the house that makes the sun move.
I will not suspend any disbelief here. That is a separate dimension that implies the existence of, like... Oh, well, I'll just outright say this. Later we go to the purple dimension, so why not a blue dimension?
Honestly.
Blueberry was behind it all along.
Blueberry is some kind of, like, deity within the realm that's on the same level as the goddesses and the final boss.
I will accept that interpretation. As someone who does not know about this game, I'll accept that as fact.
Maybe he's hidden somewhere on that one lore cutscene.
Ooh, yeah, the lore cutscene?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a while, but we'll get to that. I don't know why that cutscene's drawn like it was... it's well done, but it kind of, like, reminds me of, in Mario Galaxy, like, the Luma storybook, where, like, it's clearly for, like, a children's book, right? Why is it drawn like that?
I mean, it kind of reminds me of, like, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Facts and their intros, and they were kind of drawn somewhat the same way.
Storybook style, yeah.
Yeah, it was storybook style. I guess we're kind of going for a similar vibe. Just that ancient lore long ago storybook vibe.
It's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah.
So pay no attention to the random gameplay that we're doing right now. We're doing what's called World Tour, where we're just going to collect a lot of waypoints because we're going to need them for later. It's a special secret that we'll talk about in like 2 minutes.
Way later in the game.
Yeah, way later in the game, 2 minutes from now. Set a timer. If somebody tells me when the timer goes off and I'm off, I will just start explaining it and try to wing it until we get to the point.
Well, instead of that, we can just ask you a question.
Ooh, that works too.
Give you something else to think out. Before this game, what was the most recent release to feature Zelda as the main playable protagonist?
Ooh, was it Zelda and the Wands of Gamelon?
Ooh.
No.
Zelda's Adventure?
It is Zelda's Adventure, which came out like a year or two after Wand of Gamelon. Great idea, but yeah. But I think those are like the only 2 games other than this that have Zelda as the main protagonist, so...
I can't think of any other ones.
Yeah, just those 2. I've been kind of on a Wand of Gamelon music kick, and that is an interesting statement, I know.
Oh yeah? I've heard like one of the songs.
That's a sentence.
It sounds like a 90s arcade song.
Yeah, it does, but it's really good 90s arcade music. It is like way too good of music for that game, but not the right genre for that game at all. It's
I
wonderful.
somehow have not heard that music that much, actually.
I've only heard it because there's a friend of mine within the speedrunning community who has recently acquired a CDI and has been playing Wand of Gamelon.
Incredible.
You can play DVDs on that. That's broken.
Are CDIs still like super expensive?
Can you?
Yes. Yes.
Also, I do want to point out in the game, you saw me jump onto that Goron face. Specifically, I jumped onto the lip in order to jump above the Goron city there.
Yeah,
To which I would like to say that technique is called the lip leap.
it is. It was found by me when I saw Joish getting upset at something.
It was because I was trying to do it with the Crawltula, and then it was like, okay, this is silly. The Crawltula is just doing whatever it wants, and it's like, oh, Glover's just like, hey, why not use vets? And I'm like, oh yeah, why not?
Yeah, I was like sitting here eating chicken nuggets and watching Joish while I unwinded from work, and I was like, why don't we use beds there? And then I booted up the game, and then I just recorded for like 2 minutes. I was like, why do we not use beds here? And immediately someone in the Discord was like, oh, thank you. I don't like using the Crawltula there. I was like, this took me like 2 seconds. What are you talking about?
I just copied the strat from TGH originally.
That's what everyone did.
We didn't think fast, if you will.
Exactly.
Whoa!
Reference.
Okay, so we just did a bunch of glitchy stuff. We did a thing called venue storage where we have like 2 maps active at once, and we're going to use that to take an index of a waypoint that we collected during that world tour sequence and lay it onto the stilled world map, which then when you warp and the stilled world map is the one used as a reference, it puts that index into the stilled world map, which lets us get into whatever the corresponding index goes to, which is going to be how we get into basically every dungeon. So now we're magically in Jabul Ruins. I really hope that Joish isn't doing a different route.
So right now I'm going into the Elden Volcano. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah,
Surprise.
that is where
Surprise!
you
I
get
am
the
doing
other
bomb
routes.
right now. I'm just kidding. No, I am going to Jabul. I think you might be ahead of me right now because I did fail the mini storage a couple of times, but we're here now.
I will say y'all were like almost synced like 3 minutes ago, so
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up earlier.
Oh,
we were
man.
very, very
Yeah.
close. So it's a little bit different now, but that's why we got trivia time as well. So
Yeah,
it's never over until the run is over.
very true.
That's what they all say.
Well, can't the run be over and then somebody can get a question right?
It depends on if we ask a question when the run's over, yeah. That's
Okay,
happened before.
Of course.
Oh, has that been the deciding factor before?
Like once or twice, yeah.
That's very cool.
Oh wow,
Yep.
awesome.
Oh, and so we're just kind of skipping Jabul, not with any like complicated glitch or anything, but we literally just put a Waltula on the wall and climb up the wall and skip the puzzle they wanted us to solve. It is a solution, I guess.
Yeah, when I played this casually, a little more than halfway through, I realized that, and I'm like, wait a minute, could we not just use the Crawltula everywhere? And then I'm like, wow, it really is just like that. And I'm like, huh, either they really didn't think this through, or they just hit that really well.
Well, the whole like advertising thing of this game was coming up with your own solutions for things, and that does shine through. Like this game is absolutely adorable and fun in every way for having that kind of like an innovation behind like how you do literally everything, and I love it for that reason. That said, that one's a little silly.
It's a little extra.
Yeah. And this is the only dungeon
Yeah.
that's like that, too. It's not like that was kind of a common theme, either.
Yeah, no, so we'll have like some interesting solutions later for like how we do some of these puzzles, and basically I'm not going to spoil anything about some of the solutions for the puzzles that we have, but I will say that nearly everybody, including myself, and I believe I remember Joish saying this too, a common thing is to go, you can use bind on that throughout the entire game.
You will learn just how much you underutilize this ability when you watch a speedrun.
Yeah. You can grab anything.
Like,
reminds
that's
me
not
of-
even an exaggeration. Like, just watch.
Reminds me of like early Breath of the Wild, like solving some of the temple or shrines. Like instead of doing the maze, just flip your gamepad over and have the ball roll on the bottom of the maze. That way there is no maze.
I hated that one. Oh my God.
I love
Yeah.
like
Just
there was
flip
like
the
a
maze over.
there's like a Twitter clip from 2017, 2018 where somebody did one of the like flip over your gamepad and used it as like a ping pong paddle to smack the ball into the hole. And it's like not optimal at all for any reason, but it's so cool.
But you can do it, and that's what's important.
Exactly.
Listen,
Yeah,
sometimes
that's
you-
stuff that I love.
Listen, sometimes you just gotta go in style, you know?
Yeah. And that was the inspiration for Tears of the Kingdom as well.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay,
Alright,
so that's how
second
fast.
dungeon done.
Yeah, that's how fast Jewel Ruins is. Did we manage to get caught back up? Or did you say that like as you killed the boss and it happened to be when I warped?
Well, I just finished the boss. It's showing the rift being cleared outside for me right now.
Okay, so yeah, we are a little bit separated, but that can change pretty easily. This game is
It could change.
this game can throw some fun things at you. And by fun
A lot of
things, I
time to go
mean
too.
yeah, there's plenty of time to go and plenty of questions to answer.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
It's an amazing segue.
Oh man.
Well, without further ado, then, hold on. I gotta do this right. Okay. What is the speed of sound in meters per second in air on Earth at? Hold, let me restart that. What is the speed of sound in meters per second in air on Earth at 20 degrees Celsius?
794.72.
No.
Is that
That's
miles per hour?
82.9.
That sounds right, yeah.
No.
Okay, so I think that what I gave was miles per hour, so that's going to be
I think so, yeah.
This is in meters per second.
That's going to be an awkward conversion.
Conversions, yeah.
I can do the mental math. That's going to be taxing on my brain. Ooh, okay, so that's going to be, I think it's like roughly 790 in miles per hour. So I need to multiply
It's,
it by 3,600 and
I'll
divide
give you
by
it's 767 miles per hour.
767. And I need to divide it by roughly 3,600 over 3,900. So that's going to be, we're going to say nearly
That's some real
700
thinking
on the
fast right
dot.
It's,
In meters per second, no.
I might have factors in there. Okay.
850.
It is
No.
much lower than both of those.
Yeah, you guys are in like the high, like just short of 1K range, but it's not even.
Oh, I just forgot what a mile was. It's like 340, isn't it?
That's close enough, yeah. 343.
Yeah, I'll give you that one for sure.
Nice.
You pretty much just like 340. It's like, okay, well, there you go. Nice. Good job.
Yeah, I did mental math and definitely did way too much out loud mental math there.
I'm over here doing the math myself. I'm also trying to take his numbers as he's saying them.
Yeah, and,
Stealing the
Wait, if it's
mental
that number,
math.
is that number?
and then like my biggest flaw was like a mile 3,900 feet, right? 3,900 meters. Sorry.
Roughly.
Okay, did you word this question, Swoos?
Which one?
The speed of sound
No, I
question?
did not.
I just take 3 different breaks in one breath. Like, I don't know who wrote. No, it had to have been.
You're blaming the question writers.
do have-
Classic.
Okay,
Yes.
you do have to actually specify like temperature and all that. I get
Yeah,
why that's
that is
done,
true.
but I have a degree in physics, and I'm not going to be that pedantic. I'm going to just assume, unless you say it's on Jupiter, that it's not on Jupiter.
Should have known. It's implied in the question. That's the speed of sound in a vacuum.
Oh, air doesn't travel in a vacuum.
Null. Yeah, the answer is none.
Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah, we're back to the Void House, by the way. Oh, and there is a little bit of separation between Joish and myself because I do a little bit of a different route that I took from exactly the one person that I watched do a run once of this, who did something a little bit different, and I've done that ever since. So Joish did a little bit of the world tour, like, he did all of it at once. I defer part of it until right here, and I'm going to say that it's better because it minimizes my like cursor movement, but I don't know that that's true for, or like a fact or anything.
I didn't even think about that, actually. Interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly why I do the Baron stuff after Luberry.
Yeah, you know, despite me watching you do runs, I actually, like, when you said we do something different, I was kind of like, we do? Maybe it's because I'm, like, multitasking as well, but...
Yeah,
I do remember that, actually.
That's just the kind of thing that, like, I would know offhand because I do the different thing, right? You do the thing that everybody does, and you might just go, wait, you do something different?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I didn't even really, like, consider the differences, really. I just kind of saw them as, oh, maybe just different orders. It doesn't really matter, and so...
No,
the
just...
menu cursor thing does make sense.
Yeah, because when you're warping, like, around in general, you have to go back to Southern Forest Warp, I think is the one that we go to a lot. And that's just really close to Luberry.
Yeah,
That's why
that's fair. Interesting.
Time.
Intriguing, in fact.
All right, so this is going to be a fun example of some of the interesting things about Echoes of Wisdom. So we're going to be doing menu storage a lot here, which is low frame count, so it's not the easiest thing to hit, but it's not the easiest thing to miss either. So sometimes you'll just get it out, right? And sometimes you'll have a bit of difficulty.
I imagine this game runs at 30 FPS.
Ooh, you want to talk about that?
What? But it's Nintendo Switch.
I mean,
I thought that's like, this is the 30 FPS system. That's what I bought it for.
This game... I cannot do this menu storage. Juice, do you know about, like, the frame rate thing with this game?
all I know is that I think it's supposed to be at 60, and then sometimes it just isn't. So sometimes it's a 30 FPS game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the full intricacies of it. I haven't really heard anything about it since closer to release, but I do remember.
Is it just like normal frame drops, or is it like it hard caps itself in areas?
How this game works, I was trying not to say anything while I was doing the trick, is basically what I was doing. But I'm not the most technical person in the world, so I'm going to say something incorrect here. But the general idea of how it works is that when you are running the game and everything is fine, it's 60 FPS. If the game detects a significant amount of lag, it will go to 30 FPS. So it actually doesn't have a noticeable frame drop below 30 FPS unless it's significantly lagging. It will just not chug the game and just run at 30 FPS if you're lagging.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Donkey Kong 64, to where whenever that game experiences lag, it just speeds everything up in the game to where it doesn't look like it's lagging.
Really funny.
And then it ended up being a speedrun strat where they could clip through walls with it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's incredible.
Wasn't that like a weird thing with one of the mini games that made it really hard to get the golden banana coin?
Yeah,
play the game.
I think it was
it's
after
something
you
with Wii U,
killed a certain boss or something.
Yeah, and then it's like this propeller would go too fast to shoot through or something.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I have never played a Donkey Kong game, except for Donkey Konga.
That's not a Donkey
That's
Kong
pretty
game.
based.
Is that not a Donkey Kong game?
It is, but it's not.
Well, I mean, it is,
it's
but
it's
not.
a Donkey Kong themed rhythm game.
Yeah. That's kind of like saying Mario Mix Dance Revolution or whatever is your favorite Mario game.
It's like, yes, it is technically a Donkey Kong game, but at least play like Jungle Beat. That's a platformer kind of with the bongos.
I thought that Jungle Beat was a sequel to Donkey Kong, and I didn't like Donkey Kong very much, so I didn't play it.
No, they just use the same controller. I wouldn't really call it a platformer. Maybe it is. I don't know enough about it, but yeah, it's at least not a rhythm game. I know that. There's 3 Donkey Kongas.
There's 3?
Really?
I knew there was a Donkey Konga
one.
2.
One of my
Any
main
Miku songs?
takeaways from Donkey Konga is they had the Blink 182 song "All the Small Things" and they censored the word "sucks."
What?
All right.
They had a Blink-182 song in Donkey Kong.
Yep.
Did they like straight up no word, or is there like a replacement word like stinks?
So the line is like "work sucks, I know," and I think instead of "sucks," you just clap 3 times. So you kind of like self-censor it. It's great. There's a lot of like great songs in Donkey Konga.
Dude, Donkey Kong really does not want the child's minds to be.
I think
to
they're
be
like all
reprimanded.
covers too. All Stars in Donkey Konga as well.
Oh, the Shrek song?
Yep.
I
my
love that.
goodness. This is some deep lore.
Well, at least it wasn't like how radios have to censor certain words and then it just becomes like silence. So it wasn't like work sucks. Or wait, no, that's the word sucks. Dang it.
Work. I know.
I know. Oh.
Yeah, it is. Those are some of the games. Donkey Konga 2 is rated T for teen
What? Is it because of the word
because of
suck?
lyrics. Yeah, I don't know which lyrics, but
Well, then if you can't say sucks, then what else could make it T for teen?
I
Pretty sure
think
they
that was
said
from.
worse
I think
words than that in a deeper.
All the small things was in the first one. Let me see.
Why do I feel
What do
like
they
it's
have?
going to be like just a random Metallica song or something?
Let's see. I don't know what.
Oh, I
Yeah,
pulled
All-Stars
an
and-
ice balloon. I died in the Tektite.
No. No. Oh no.
Back in Schloss Hyrule,
Wait, did I go ahead of you?
a punishment most severe.
Yeah, I don't know what would make it E for teen, but let's see. Why
I
is
asked
Donkey
earlier, and I
Konga
must know: is there any Miku songs in Donkey Konga?
Ooh. I doubt it. What?
No way.
I would never doubt it.
Isn't Donkey
It is.
Wait, did Miku even
I
exist
don't
back
think
then?
so.
Probably not. It's
I'm
2000,
pretty sure they-
2004 in Japan.
Yeah, never mind. I think Miku was like 2006 or something.
Wait, was Miko that, like, early?
Yeah,
I would have thought, like, 20...
I remember watching a Fine Bros video of kids react to Hatsune Miku in like 2009.
Huh.
So,
The only, like, in that same vein, I only think about, like, Caramel Dancin' at, like, 2006.
that's all the anime that there was in 2006 was just Caramel Dancing.
And Naruto.
Yes.
This is how my, at the time, 8-year-old brain would have worked. Oh, goodness. I'm just not going to expand on the fact that I just said, oh, goodness, and we're just going to go with it. If you saw,
I
you
can't
saw.
figure out. I can't figure out exactly why Donkey Konga 2 is rated T for teen. So that's a mystery left to the reader.
That is one that I would love an answer to.
What is
Perhaps that'll
What
be
does
a
it say
trivia
on
question
the-
someday.
on the E ESRB rating
That is
itself?
a
Like, what are the
I think it's just like. Because of lyrics. Let's see.
strong language?
That would
But they
be
censored words.
Really weird. They censored the word sucks.
But I think that made it not. I think that made it not T in the other games.
Yeah, it might be like an excessive use of mild language. Like maybe they didn't
Right.
censor the word sucks.
Yeah, it is for mild lyrics. That's it.
Yep, that's probably, or like a song says the word blood, right?
Probably, yeah.
or like crap, or like
Whoa.
frick, like really bad
Oh.
stuff.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
sorry. Are your moms in the room? Sorry. I didn't mean to-
Don't say that word.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah, I cannot. There's no like immediate reference to like what song might be. Everything just says contained lyrics not suitable for younger players, which is like actual children.
Yeah, like 3.
Here's a poster from 2005. Let's see. No, I don't know. Anyways, more importantly, we have questions.
Ooh.
All right, this one is multiple choice, so give you both one chance to answer. And if you get it right, you get it right. If you don't get it right, you don't get it right. Which of these characters is not featured in the glossary, so kind of like the who's who, in the official Zelda website? And your choices are Midna, Koroks, Aghanim, or Kaepora Gaebora.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say
Go with Aghanim.
Midna.
It is Aghanim.
Nice.
So that is 10 seconds for Glovers. Yeah, there's a couple like interesting characters on that list. There's like the Kokiri, a couple like not super deep cuts, but not like characters you would immediately think of when you think of the Zelda series. But yeah, Aghanim's not there.
Huh. That is
There's only like
an
12,
interesting
I think,
one.
on the site.
So one thing that I was kind of expecting with this game, based from like my pre-playing the game, like thoughts going into it, I was fully expecting, based on like the advertising that we had, where Ganon gets pulled in by the rift in the ground. It turns out that I was like way off base, but that made me think that the main baddie would be either Aghanim or Vadi. It would be like one of the sorcerers, And I feel like it was a good call, but I was way off base.
Well, I think that there's some kind of like parody cartoon that's called what was it called? It was called like Echoes of Wisdom Speedruns, and then in parentheses probably. And it was like trying to predict what an Echoes of Wisdom speedrun would look like, and at the end it had Aghanim as the final boss.
So that makes me have to mention that, Joish, I don't know if you were around in the Discord at the time before the game came out, but there was a point before the game came out where like people were just sitting around and like, this is the Echoes of Wisdom speedrunning Discord, this is a waiting room, and I was just kind of in there because I anticipated wanting to do early runs for the game, where people had like this funny idea to go on Google Images and find a box art of Echoes of Wisdom and hit save link as, and then time it as a speed run, which is like a
Nice.
really
Just go into Google Images and right-click, save, click, link it. That's
Yeah.
it.
A link speedrun.
exactly, which is hilarious, right? That is a great bit. People did it
That's-
too much
that's
that the mods
awesome.
had to say please stop.
That's incredible. I was
we
in the
are-
Discord, I think, for the last couple of weeks, but I didn't really look at it that much at all until I actually started looking into the speedrun.
So we have beat Ganon, so the run's over, right?
Yeah, the run is now
Oh, yeah.
over. As you can see, I'm going to warp away here, and nothing is going to happen at all. Why is the wall breaking? What?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, there's more game to be played.
By the way, this just made me think it was Vadi Moore.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that now. It would
Actually,
be
though,
interesting
are
to
we
have
in
Vadi in a 3D game, though.
are we in a decent spot to take a quick break?
Yeah, I'll be at a text box.
Yeah.
I can pause on here in just a second.
Sure.
Or actually, I can just hit the home button. This is a Switch game.
All right, I'll have y'all pause in 3, 2, 1. Pause.
All right.
All right. To those watching in chat, we are not going anywhere. We are just taking a quick break. So yeah, we'll be right back. But first, we have a couple announcements.
That is right. And these announcements, which are so special. Okay. First off, we have AGDQ 2025 will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 5th to January 12th. Registration and hotel booking are now open. Visit gamesdonequick.com and check the AGDQ 2025 important dates section to learn more. Very exciting. And also the AGDQ 2025 schedule is now out. Go to gamesdonequick.com/schedule to check it out and let us know what you're most excited to see. The new game submission period for games released after September 6th is now open until Thursday, November 21st.
That is soon. So get those in if you have a game that released after September 6th. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Go get water or something.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to Think Fast, the speedrunning game show of fast times and sharp minds. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Swoos.
And I'm also your host, Sparkle.
In case you forgot how the game works, it's not simply enough to beat the game the fastest. Our runners are answering our trivia questions as they play, and the more questions they get right, the more seconds we take off their final time. Again, everyone watching at home, feel free to play along in chat. I believe Glubbers is ahead in both game and trivia time. However, it is really anyone's game, so we still have another hour to go through. The only way to find out is to think fast in 3, 2, 1, go.
That was a good segue.
Really good segue, yeah.
Yeah, we got a script.
Dude.
I mean, yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah.
So improv, we do hard improv twice a week, actually.
Never done this before.
Yeah.
Hard improv.
All right,
We go to class.
So while we're here, let's catch up with the lore of the game. So what is happening? We just beat Ganon, but now what?
Yeah, so we just beat Ganon, and then there was a cutscene where, as I was warping away, there's this, shadowy cloud figure that comes in, and it's kind of like this mysterious big bad, right, who's taken Link, and we now know that Link is okay in the Stilled World, but is fighting off this mysterious big bad Cloud that's totally not Vaati. It actually isn't Vaati. And Zelda now has to save him, and basically what we end up learning in that cutscene is Link is the hero, but it's not enough for you to be the hero to save the world from this evil. We also need the help of the priestess, and Zelda is that priestess. So that's basically what we figured out, and then the rest of this cutscene is, interestingly enough, basically the king being like, but Zelda's my daughter, and my daughter has to save the world, but I don't want her to. For some reason, that's the cutscene.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning, I guess, is that at the beginning of the game, no one could see Tri, which is our companion here, the yellow thing. But now they can see Tri, because apparently if you go into one of the steel rifts, then you gain the ability to see them.
Yep, although Zelda did not have to go to a rift to be able to see Tri, because she's special. And there was a jump earlier where actually one of the lines does directly translate to, but not to you, Zelda, you're special. Which is a very... Yeah, plot armor. Like, literally, you have plot armor, Zelda, you're fine. Which is interesting. Now, this short sequence of the game here, after you defeat Ganon, but before what happens in this cutscene where Zelda gets changed into her priestess outfit, you get what is weirdly the only outfit they teased in, like, the promotional trailers. Zelda wearing the hood with the hood down. The only bit of gameplay that you can actually use that outfit is going from Zelda's bedroom into the throne room, and that's it. You can't use it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Great.
Didn't they also do that for Tears of the Kingdom, where they had it's on the box art with Link with the hood, but you don't get the hood?
Yeah, it's really weird.
What are they doing? This game has a lot of weird parallels with Tears of the Kingdom, I'm noticing.
This game has a lot of weird
the
parallels. Yeah. Well, this game has, like, the entire menuing system from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Huh.
I mean, this game is basically just traditional 2D Zelda, and Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom had a child and named it Echoes of Wisdom.
makes sense.
It is a good child named Echoes of Wisdom.
Ooh, Zelda has a cool ponytail now.
Zelda
I like
does
that.
have a cool ponytail now, which is
Pretty
great.
stylish.
And we're going to go and do the exact same glitch we did before. So this glitch is called menu storage. We didn't actually touch on what this glitch is. So basically, I'm going to talk to this sign and annoyingly have a different frame window than I did before Ganon. That's my hypothesis, at least. And if we can get it, as we're voiding out, we open the menu in a couple of frames that we have to actually use any of our abilities. So we're just going to open a menu whenever the game wants to cooperate. But when you do that, that basically like opens up the map and then you void out, so that map is no longer the one actually functional in the world. It's a fake map. And that's kind of what we use to layer our index from one map to the other to do the wrong warps that we were talking about. And we will get this eventually. It's a little bit fickle because for whatever reason, this exact state after Ganon has a different frame window, and I don't know why.
Also, if anyone here is familiar with Wind Waker HD speedruns, then this the menu storage glitch is very, very similar to the pause storage glitch in Wind Waker HD. Except instead of skipping cutscenes, we use it to wrong warp.
Yeah, so we didn't actually touch on that much. So an interesting little quirk of the Echoes of Wisdom speedrunning community is that there's a large chunk of us that are just previous Zelda runners. It's not as many new runners or people coming from like non-Zelda games. There's a lot of Zelda runners. So, for example, Joish and I both come from different Zelda games. I am more normally, I kind of do a lot of different Zelda games, but most people know me for Twilight Princess. And Joish, what do you do?
I do mostly Wind Waker HD, but I've also done Majora's Mask 3D, and actually, I guess that's the main two Zelda games I've done. I've done a little bit of Ocarina of Time, that was only for like 3 weeks though, but mainly I've done Wind Waker HD for like 6 years.
Yeah, and I've done Twilight Princess for close to 5 now.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, I was a COVID baby for speedrunning. Not the other definition of that. That's good.
It's just saying that out loud, just like face value, is very good.
All right.
I guess, yeah, like there's a tier above iPad kid now, is COVID baby.
Oh no.
That's pretty wicked.
Oh man.
Anyways, let's ask a question.
All right.
Oh, right. Think fast. Take that. Hiya. Think fast.
Yep.
Okay. Who's it? Do you get? I can ask the question.
Go for it.
Okay, it's my turn. I have to get it up.
There's already one up.
Okay. Oh, hey. What is considered to have been the loudest natural sound ever, at least in recorded history?
Ooh, Atomic Bomb.
No.
Natural.
Natural.
Yeah.
Vesuvius?
Oh, yeah, true. No.
The,
It is along that tread.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate.
the tea kettle. I don't.
The tea kettle?
My
It's not
kitchen.
natural at all.
I mean,
Oh.
if you make tea on a kettle, it would naturally make that sound.
I'm gonna go
guess so.
with Olympus Mons.
Yeah. No.
It probably is something from space.
You want a
It
hint?
is.
No, wait. My hint might be good.
Go for it. Yeah.
My hint is Squidward.
Squidward.
Oh,
Was it a clarinet?
No.
It is.
Hey, go ahead, Smooth.
It is a volcano.
Ooh.
Oh.
So it was an underwater volcano, probably then.
No, it is a more direct reference.
Mount St. Helens.
Like Squidward literally says the name of the volcano. Kind
Mount
of reference.
Doom?
No.
No.
Wait, that's not even real.
I was like, when did Squidward say Mountain
Krakatoa!
There you
Yes!
go. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
It is estimated to have been 310 decibels at like its base when it exploded or erupted. There was a location about 100 miles away that measured roughly 172 decibels, and the shockwave from it traveled around the world like 3 times.
Oh.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
A lot. So we'll do 15 for Glubbers there.
Also, there's something special with this cutscene in that I don't know why it's like this, but for some reason one of these Dekus decides not to run here in a bit because all these Dekus are going to leave the room in a minute, but one of them will stay behind and something very unfortunate is going to happen to him. So watch our little buddy here as we just go over and hit the delete key, and off he goes.
What?
He goes back to his homeworld.
You literally did. That was like perfectly timed. Wow, not bad. I was immersed.
That's a really fun one. There's also some interesting routing implications by that ordering of cutscenes there. That interests the nerds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we actually do dungeons in certain order. Like, despite the fact that we can warp to pretty much all of them at any point, we do them in certain orders because of cutscene flags and whatnot. It's so we can skip some really long cutscenes later and also some smaller, like, introduction cutscenes for some areas.
Yeah, it's...
Also, we'll get a fun little thing here with this cutscene.
Oh, yeah. I know
So-
the cutscene you're talking about.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to get an overview of this area. This is the only time we'll get an overview of an area, which this is actually important to skip a major story cutscene. It like sets some of the flags back so that it won't play that cutscene later. But what's more interesting about this cutscene is that normally there is a rift right here on this building when you get here. And so we get to this building here, and Try's like, there's a rift here. Let me look at this rift. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a rift. I think this is a rift. Let's see if we can find the entrance to the rift in this door that you definitely can't go through, Zelda. Let me look in here. At this rift, that's definitely totally there.
The rift's
Yep,
still there.
definitely
it's just
a rift.
doorway. It's a doorway into
Yeah,
a
it's
normal
the door.
room that is kind of a rift if you really stretch your definition of rift.
I mean, some say that that door leads to Blueberry's house.
Oh, yeah, in the blueberry dimension.
True.
Yeah, that's there's some fun implications there for the sake of routing. Like Joash mentioned, it's a lot of like playing cutscenes so that we can do different like orders of dungeons to properly like sew this route together. So basically one of the things that we do with the reason that we do Farron when we do Farron and using that like the fact that there's those 3 cutscenes playing after the dungeon, it sets your quest status for the Farron dungeon back to the beginning, which then unsets the completion flag. So now when we actually complete all of these 3 goddess dungeons, we won't have actually set the flag for all 3 of them being beaten, which is very, very useful. It saves like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Also, we're getting to a fan favorite dungeon here for this run. So this dungeon is definitely totally the longest run one. It's also definitely totally, not sarcastically, the hardest one. So we're under the sand right now, and we're going to navigate blindly here. We're going to we're going to solve this puzzle without looking. Pull this.
What is going on the left?
And then
I love
On the
texture
left,
we
flipping.
solve
Yeah.
we solve the puzzle, and we open the chest. We get the big key.
Of course,
And
yeah.
we'll navigate back up. Yeah, of course.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I saw it that time. Okay.
This is what you're supposed to do casually, actually.
Yeah. This is perfectly normal. And so conveniently, the door is right here. So we're gonna go through the door. Now it's time for the boss. We're gonna really struggle with this boss. This boss is like really risky. So we're gonna go over here to this end warp, and we're going to hit yes, and we're gonna complete the dungeon just like that.
Yeah.
That's the coolest mole I've ever seen. Look at his cool
Right?
goggles.
He has such cool
Yeah,
goggles.
He does have
Wait,
cool
he's so
goggles.
He's so cool. He's the coolest kid in the 5th grade.
Too bad we only
Honestly-
see him for 5 seconds.
Yeah, but you let him live. So, like in the speedrun lore, he survives and thrives in
True.
whatever world.
That's
it's
true.
in, Hyrule.
He was
I
cool
love
enough to
talking
live.
about speedrun lore. You know, in Ocarina 100%, Zelda is not Sheik. Sheik is just lying. Because he shows up later.
Sheik is lying.
No, Zelda's
Great.
lying. Zelda just puts on a Sheik disguise.
Oh,
And then Sheik shows up after Zelda gets kidnapped by Ganondorf.
Surprise!
Oh, I love stuff like that. It just makes such goofy things, and I wish that like those speedrun animated would talk about that kind of thing, because that stuff is
I
just
know, right?
great.
There's so much creative potential for that. It's insane.
Oh, that stuff is wonderful. But what they do is still good too, right? Like, I do like the whole Wind Waker animated where it's like, oh yeah, I woke up and within like an hour of waking up on my birthday, I was annoyed enough that I just went and saved the world.
Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You know what we gotta do?
Ask a question.
It's true.
Ooh, it's about
What does sonar
That's my
stand
line, but
for?
thanks.
Ooh,
Sonar, you said?
sonar.
Sonar.
Sound. Something. Navigation. Something. Radio?
Let's see.
Sound is correct. I also wrote the answer to this wrong, but what did you say again? Sound something in radio.
Sound. Yeah, radio for R. Navigation for N, maybe?
It is sound, navigation, and something else.
Acoustic radio.
It's not related to radio because that's radar.
Ooh.
Wait, the radar itself stands for something, doesn't it?
Then
It's
the
the
R is
Radar.
radio then?
Radar is radio detection and blank, and it's the same word for both sonar and radar.
and and relay.
I'm gonna fix this.
Oh wait, is one of these words just not in the answer period?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was
I'm
wait,
working on it.
What is this acronym? This is not an acronym by definition.
Sound and response rescue.
I like don't know how to give a hint for this. It's a weird.
This is really weird. Yeah.
It's a weird word. I guess it's related to how far you can ping stuff with
Yeah.
sonar.
Yeah, that's kind of what a sonar is, right? So
Reach,
it's a word
maybe?
that could like you're getting there.
It's a popular combat class.
Yeah.
Range?
Ranger. Yeah, right.
Close enough.
Ranger, yeah.
It is ranging.
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 So
okay.
sonar means sound, navigation, and ranging. Radar is radar. Radar detection and ranging, and then LiDAR is also light detection and ranging. So that is 25 for Joish.
That is a good one.
That was a
take
pretty.
that.
I think that's like. I think that was like the hardest question we had this week. A lot of these are at least relatively straightforward for once.
That one gets you thinking.
Well, I mean, it's trivia night, right? It's like when you go to
Yeah.
trivia night at the bar. There's always those questions that are like, what is Celine Dion's last name? And you're like, I wonder. And then the other ones are like, if you have 3 trains and they're all going at each other in the vacuum, except one of them's in water, and they all honk their horn.
Yeah, ours are like that. It's like a combination of that, and then we also have questions of things that you just say in like commentary, and we're like, oh, well, you already know this one, so might as well give you time for it.
Yeah.
Such as, in this game,
True.
while others may call it the Triforce, what is the source of power that was left behind by the goddesses?
Ooh, the prime energy, which is
Prime
has
energy.
a different name.
Well done.
That is correct.
It is not the actual Japanese name for it, unfortunately. I don't remember what that is offhand, but it is not prime energy.
Speaking of Prime, you have a Prime Gaming
God, the
sub.
segues are going crazy
Oh.
right now. That's my host.
You have a Prime Gaming sub. Subscribe to Games Done Quick. You get a bunch of emotes.
Like the bed emote, which is really relevant to this run.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so we're in Eldon at this point, and Eldon's cool. It's a volcano. It's kind of like Krakatoa. It makes a lot of noise.
Squidward says it.
Squidward does say Eldon
Come on, Mike,
volcano.
you beat me to it, man.
Squidward does say Mount Doom. I don't even think there's any reference to Mount Doom in SpongeBob at all. I don't know where that is.
It sounds like something that would be in a random episode.
It
though.
does.
I mean, they made like a whole like TV special about D&D, so probably.
They
Oh,
did.
did
Oh
they?
yeah, they
And
did.
that's
Yeah.
one of the
Wow.
best specials that there is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Dunces and Dragons.
All I remember is Plankton shooting lightning. That's all I remember from that. Need to rewatch it sometime.
Right. Plankton shooting lightning.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in years. Like,
Oh, here's this for a reference. Like Electroplankton from Super Smash, the stage.
my goodness.
Or no, wait, it's
oh,
Cannonball. Electroplankton
yeah,
is the song
yeah.
that plays.
yep. That's
Electroplankton's the series.
the series? Is that the one with the,
Electroplankton
like,
the name of
the
the game?
leaves?
Well-
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Electroplankton is the name
Yeah.
of the game.
I always thought that was a weird.
Oh, okay, it's
Cannonball
just
is the
Cannonball from
stage.
Electroplankton.
And the song, I don't even think there is a song because you make the music by hitting the platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of
And then
Smash,
there's
Yep.
yes.
in the first level of the Subspace Emissary in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Petey Piranha captures Zelda and who else?
Princess Peach.
That is correct.
You both got it at the same exact
Definitely both
time.
got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Who is faster to save in the speedrun?
Ooh, that is
Peach?
Kirby.
Well, you do have to save one of them.
I think it's Peach, yeah.
It is Zelda because you can transform to Sheik and Sheik is faster.
Oh,
that makes
yep.
sense. Guess I need
Yes.
to brush up on my.
Oh, I thought you were saying like
Subspace
who's faster to
Emissary.
save as in like in the fight.
That is also what I was thinking.
I believe it is
Yeah.
also Zelda because you spawn slightly left of Petey and Zelda's on the left side of
right.
Petey. But
That would make
Makes
sense.
sense.
also saving Zelda lets you use Zelda, which means you get to use Sheik, who is faster in the next level, or 2 levels from them. So there's your
It's funny
Super
'cause,
Smash
like,
Bros.
in-
Brawl trivia fact of the day.
Yeah, it's funny because in subspace, run speed is like so obscenely nerfed that it's faster to just spam rolls as Sheik than running.
Yeah, I think that's like, I don't even know. That might be the RTA strat now. But yeah, it's like balanced around like the
Yeah.
median, which is very odd.
So,
I just remember
Very
watching a
Zelda
speedrun like a
character.
few months ago.
I would never speedrun that game.
subspace speedruns are
No.
so interesting, but like, yeah, I agree. I would never do it.
Yep, I sure
Yeah.
would never do that. It's fine.
I'm clean.
I've been clean
Raw
for like
clean.
3 years.
Oh.
Hey, speaking of Smash Bros. Again. In the most recent official Super Smash Bros. Melee tier list from 2021, out of 26 characters, what place is Zelda?
Ooh, 24.
That is
Whoa.
exactly right.
Whoa!
Oh,
I said that with confidence, like I know that.
was good.
I don't.
That was good.
Just cut it off there and put it in the highlight
done.
reel.
GG, yeah. Because of this, Zelda's best move in Melee is her down special, which turns her into the 5th best character in the game.
Sheik,
Oh.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
She's only 5th
Imagine
now?
having one character that has 2 placements on the board.
Sheik is
they
like
should give-
arguably like top 3 now, but that's from that tier list at least.
I mean, I
They should give
don't know.
Nana and Pope, and is it Popo? They should give them their own rankings.
Yes.
Sopo is like so bad. The Ice
Well, like,
Climbers
Nana
are so
isn't
good.
really even a character that you play as.
Yeah.
She's just level 5 CPU or something, right?
It's like the
It
equivalent.
scales.
What does it scale with?
I don't know.
I'm playing against my brother. What does it scale with? I can kind of
It scales with the skill of the player.
All right, so I'm gonna play against Hungry Box, and I'm gonna put the controller down and let her go to work.
Yep. I think those are the only 2 Smash ones I had. Darn. Oh no, I have another Smash one. Hey, speaking of Smash Bros.
Yo,
Holy snot.
is this about the
Just go
Hungry
through
Box
all of them.
commercial?
No, that'd be great though. We'll do that. We'll save that for our soup-themed episode.
A soup-themed episode would be great.
Oh, man.
We have done similar before. In Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Zelda's classic mode path is Wisdom Prevails. What is the main theme of the fights in this path?
Villains?
Defense?
Yeah,
Whoa. Good job.
all of the enemies are antagonists. So you have like Wario, King K. Rool, Dark Link, and then the boss fight is Ganondorf, and then Beast Mode Ganon.
That one I'm going to say I pulled from the fact that Zelda is my main in Ultimate. I haven't played Ultimate in years, but I definitely played a lot of Zelda.
I don't think
So
I
I'm
actually
gonna-
did Zelda's classic mode, now that I think about it.
Oh, I definitely did.
Okay, that's all the Smash ones I had for this week, so.
And now on to the Smash Burger ones, right?
Close.
Speaking of Smash Bros.
No, we're going back to audio, actually.
Ooh.
Zelda audio, to be specific.
Go for it.
Ready for this one? It's gonna be a deep cut, as the kids
I
call
like
it.
this
All right,
one.
here we go. There's an old North American commercial for the original Legend of Zelda that contains a rap song. What is the first line of this song?
Ooh.
Ew.
I even know the commercial. I'm trying to think of it.
Just the first line. It's like 7 words.
Ooh.
I'm on the genius.com page for this song.
Oh. That's been a long time since I've heard this.
The tune is in my brain. This is a good deep cut. I'll give you that.
This one
Yeah,
is
this
good.
one's a good one.
I thought of it like 2 hours ago.
Congrats.
I guess 3 hours ago at this point.
Ooh,
Well,
Dang
for
it.
some reason for some reason the Mario Bros theme is also coming to mind too. I guess from the same era.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get we're the Mario Bros and plumbing's our game out of my head.
I'm just a fan of Dragon Force, and I was listening to their newest album, which has a song called
Oh,
Power of the
yeah.
Triforce.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It's a good song.
I'll give you 5 seconds.
I'm not going to be able to get in 5 seconds.
No? All right. The answer is The Legend of Zelda is really rad.
That's
Oh my gosh.
what it is.
That's it. Oh,
I knew it was The Legend of Zelda.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I knew the
it's-
title was in there somewhere, but like, oh my goodness. Well, I guess in that same vein, it is similar to the Mario theme, which is probably why I was confusing the two.
The genius.com lyrics are It's the Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad. Octoroks, Tektites, and Levers too. But with your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, go Link. Yeah, get Zelda.
Cinema, dude.
That's
That's a banger right there.
I knew that there was the Ganon line, and that's what I was getting stuck on. I'm like, that's not the first line.
Thank you for attending my spoken word Zelda rap.
No, please do more. That was great.
Encore, like honest.
And Octoroks too. They like reading at like what was that called? It's spoken word poetry, but like what is
Slam poetry.
Yeah, slam poetry. Welcome to my Zelda themed slam poetry. Beavers and Octoroks too.
Without your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, go Link. Yeah, get Zelda.
Go, Link!
Oh, this is completely off
Zelda.
topic, but
It's not Pokemon.
I cannot do the poker rap if we're talking about Pokemon.
That's fine. Me either.
Good.
this completely off topic, or I guess kind of on topic because it was like the topic of 5 minutes ago. But I just got some exclusive insider intel of how Nana's AI works in Melee.
Ooh.
Apparently,
Ooh.
at 0%, she initially starts at level 1, and then for every 20% that Popo takes, she goes up 1 level.
Does it cap at 9?
I assume so, but that would mean you were at 180%.
More?
Level 30 CPU.
I would really like for there to be 999 Popo. That's just messy.
999 Popo is
Task
just
Nana
ass.
just like Ultra Instincts and just owns you.
The hammer just turns into like a literal cannon. Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. So we're around the lore cutscene right now, by the way, which was what I was talking about earlier, where I'm really reminded of Super Mario Galaxy. I don't know if I'm the only one that's reminded of Mario Galaxy, but basically during the lore cutscene, to explain how the game works, this is the goddesses. The goddesses are actually, this is the only time the goddesses talk in the Zelda franchise, is in Echoes of Wisdom. They
Interesting.
have like alluded to messages previously, but this is the only time they talk. And basically they're saying, in the beginning, there was nothing, which is very, very biblical. And in that nothingness, there was Null. And Null is the name of the big bad of this game. He's a big blob. And basically, like, the goddesses came around, created everything, but Null liked the nothingness and wants the nothingness to stay because he was comfy in that nothingness. And so that's why he's creating these rifts, is he's trying to turn the world back into nothing. Which is really, really dark if you think about it. Like, it's not that dark if you don't think about it that far, but it can... Wow, that is pretty bad.
I feel like that's also like the plot point of some Pokemon game.
I think that's like Gen 4? Is that...
I don't remember.
Sparkle, you're the Pokemon guy.
Yeah, that's all
It
you.
was like the return to nothingness kind of thing.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
with Giratina.
Yeah, like Cyrus wanted to like reset the whole universe to form it in his specific way. So I guess in a sense,
Sorta.
then it would be like transformed into something else based off somebody else's will. So I don't know. It's tough to say.
It's interesting.
What we're
Pokemon
getting
is
at is
interesting.
this is just a Pokemon game.
Yeah, that's exactly.
This is
It's a
true.
Pokemon game. Actually, we were talking about this not that long ago, about the idea of like an extension category for Pokemon speedruns normally have like a catch-em-all category. And so we were talking about like joking around, but like also kind of, wait, that's kind of a good idea to do a catch-em-all Echoes of Wisdom run where you just get all the enemy echoes.
That's so real.
It's good. It's like Odyssey all captures.
Exactly, yeah. Actually,
So you gotta wear the hat too.
Segueing off of all captures, everybody knows, a lot of people know about minimum captures being like this popular category in Mario Odyssey. So there was a lot of hype behind minimum echoes when the game came out. And then that very, very quickly, like within a couple of weeks, devolved into a thing called table percent because you just need the table.
That's pretty. That could be a good YouTube video.
It could be. It could be. Fun fact, the only actual required one is the table, and the only reason that you require the table is to jump out of the prison cell at the beginning. That's it.
So then it would just be the Echo of Wisdom.
Yes.
That'd be the true Echo of Wisdom, canonically.
So which echo is the one that's the wisdom? It's the table!
The smartest table ever. Or the wisest table, I suppose.
The MVP, though, is absolutely the sign. The sign lets us warp literally anywhere and has very goofy dialogue.
I love the irony of it being the most useless thing in a casual game, but then it's the most powerful thing in the speedrun.
Yeah. Oh, and the bed is like right up there with it.
Oh yeah. Bed
feel
is like the mascot of this game.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like this is like the lowest ball that you can like shoot for, but I absolutely called that the bed was the most useful thing in this game for so many reasons. But I feel like absolutely everybody called that.
True.
It's became so useful in such weird ways, like using them on those in the scale room in Farron or the other Switch one here in Lanayru. It's so fun and clever, and that's one of the things I love about this game is like a lot of the strats are so varied, right? And it's just, oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, there's so much detail to this and just so many ways to go.
Yeah, and that's one thing that makes racing this game absolutely great, too, is that when you race this game, there's so many, like, minor differences in the strats. Like, if anyone's being the astute viewer, that they will notice that Joash and I have done the same route, but some pretty different things throughout. A lot of the same stuff because we're also very close together on the leaderboard, and we're just doing what's optimal, but there's so many, like, minor things that you don't really think about being different, and they're all, like, about the same speed. It's really a preference because there's just so much variety that you can do. And it makes it such a fun game.
I mean, you can just take
game?
simply just the echoes you use for certain scenarios. Like, do you stack bets to get to a place? Do you use a strangula? Do you do a mixture of the two? Like, really cool. Really cool.
Like, for example, Josh, did you get the Dark Nut?
Yes.
I didn't.
Yes, I did. Yeah, so I probably won't be getting the Dark Nut soon in future runs, but I learned the Dark Nut Echo in Hyrule Castle alongside with the Ball and Chain Soldier. But I've done that for this category because it makes parts of the final boss way easier for me, like with how things are laid out. Which for 80% restricted, I will not be using the Dark Nut. So because of that, I have been getting used to 80% restricted strat, so I might not be using the Dark Nut eventually, but I don't know. We'll see. But either way, the Dark Nut makes it like much easier for me. Which that's another thing to bring up too, is that the final boss has like a dozen strats to it, and I've seen so many different ways of dealing with certain phases of that fight. And you'll probably see a bunch of differences just between the two of us alone, both with us doing all dungeons and then later on for the 80% restricted category.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, for example, what Josh was talking about there's sub-phases in the final phase of the final boss, which is a very awkward thing to say. And in that, there's a couple of sub-phases where I believe you use Dark Nut for both of them, right?
Yeah, I use them for both.
Yeah, you just use Dark Nut for both of them, and I'm going to use the Electric Keys for one and the Strantula for another.
You want to talk about major differences? You got it right there.
Yeah.
The Electric Key sounds powerful. I know it's like not, but
It does, and the Twilight Princess runner in me names all of them. Because we like naming things for some reason in the Twilight
oh yeah,
Princess
true,
community.
true.
So here's a bunch of Ignazals. Their names are Izzy.
Oh wow,
Nice.
that's relevant to me.
Whoa. Not to be confused with the electric quiche, which is not to be eaten.
Yeah, and hopefully isn't at Thanksgiving dinner.
Not this year.
Last year, though.
Also, I want to give a shout out to our favorite character, Conde, our boy.
And here I learned he's at Conde.
Where are you? Where are you right now, Glovers?
Ice phase on Scorchill. Or sorry, fire phase.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
The one where you use ice, not the one where he has ice.
Right, yeah,
Ice,
yeah.
you say, as he blasts fire out of his skull.
Is it you that has the ice or him that
That's a
has
pretty
the
wicked contraption he's got. Where'd he get that?
He has a
The
pocket.
most nefarious gizmo.
So you know, like the episode of
plot.
SpongeBob where there's the guy in the Sasquatch costume.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
Well, the guy is the Sasquatch. He's wearing a Patrick costume, who is wearing a gorilla costume, but Patrick in the gorilla costume is actually not Patrick, is the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Or no, Patrick was a different Patrick in the gorilla costume. The Sasquatch guy was the other Patrick. They were both holding ice cream cones, though.
They were. Yeah, so it's like the reverse.
If I remember one thing.
If I remember one thing, it's this weirdly specific scene.
It had ice cream cones.
Ice cream.
All right. You want something that I know you don't remember?
All right, hit me with it.
Oh,
Ooh.
How many different endings are in the Zelda-themed choose-your-own adventure book, The Crystal Trap?
I've never even heard of that. I'm going to say 39.
It is between those two.
24?
15.
What'd you say, Josh?
15?
It is very close to 15.
17.
17.
Nope.
I said
13.
17.
Yeah, we think both pick 17.
Yeah,
It's 16?
it's not 16.
It's 14.
Oh, okay.
It is 14.
Hey.
Of course, there's only one good ending. Everything else leads to the demise of Zelda or Link in various ways. Your choices in the book also add up points to your final Triforce Protector rating,
All right. Is that
where
rating out
there's
of 100?
different. It's out of 800, where 800 makes you a Wonder Warrior, 600 is a Hyrule
Wonder
Hero,
Warrior.
400 is an Apprentice Adventurer, and 200 is a Gallant Greenhorn.
Okay.
If somebody
defeating
calls me
it.
a gallant,
That's the most patronizing title I've
if
ever
somebody
seen.
calls me a gallant greenhorn on the street, I think I'm going to yell at them.
You
There's
accumulate.
no title for 0 points?
No, there's a thermometer at the end of the book that you kind of add up your points in.
A thermometer?
Yeah,
Thermometer? What?
The image, the Zelda wiki is the TPR thermometer, and the more points you get by defeating enemies or obtaining items, you gain points, and losing items and making the wrong decision will subtract points.
It's the T.
There are multiple Zelda Choose Your Own Adventure books. There are two of them.
So you literally want to cook. That makes sense, I guess.
It's the TPR thermometer, so it's the Twilight Princess randomizer thermometer.
The first book is The Shadow Prince, where Link and Zelda meet a strange knight known as Sir Charles.
Oh, that guy. Right.
Yeah, that guy.
Charlie.
from the Kingdom of Moria, which that is the only reference to it. Surprise, it's actually Ganon.
It is?
Charlie would never do that.
Oh my goodness.
And if you go to
Swindle me so.
If you go to the Zelda wiki, it kind of has a whole like flowchart of like, if Link chooses the red Darkna arrow, Link dies. Okay.
Oh.
Well,
Oh, goodness.
So much for dark now.
the page ends with a game over as Link rolls over just as the arrow is headed straight towards him. Well, if you want to kill Link, go read these books.
All right.
Or play a game or play Skyward Sword. Do Skyward Sword speedruns if you want to kill Link.
True.
You do that a lot. I'm not joking. If anybody doesn't know about Skyward Sword speedruns, you intentionally die in any percent. I don't know how many times, but it's definitely over a dozen.
It's
an
a
hour
lot.
long.
You can also kill Link in Wind Waker, and you also get to see him do a funny little hover. As well.
Ooh, yeah. But is that really dying? Can we? Okay, let's talk about zombie hovers. Are zombies actually dead? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think that's a prerequisite to becoming a zombie is to be dead first.
They're
yeah.
the undead.
They're the undead, which is a state of life.
But they were dead at some point.
So are people that got resuscitated. Are they zombies?
Legally, maybe. It's probably a legal gray area.
I'm a legal zombie, I'll have you know.
Can you be illegally dead?
I think faking your own death is illegal, yeah.
Yeah, true.
That's a good way of putting it. That's true.
I know I'm pretty sure there have been cases of like people that were like pronounced dead, but then they were resuscitated, but like all their records got purged, so like they're legally dead, but they're still living.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In that way, they're a zombie. So you escape student loans.
Don't try this at home.
Do not take our words as advice, please. Moving on.
GDQ Hotfix is not legal advice.
I'll pitch that as a new show.
Yeah, the legal eagles. We get lawyers that speedrun. I definitely know, I don't remember what they ran. It was either Ocarina of Time or Mario 64, but there was like a defense lawyer that was very vocal that they were a defense lawyer that ran one of those two games.
Incredible.
I don't remember anything about them, but I do remember it being a thing.
Interesting. You know what else is a thing?
A question?
A question?
Ooh.
Where can you find the National Technical Institute for the Deaf, the largest technological college for the deaf and hard of hearing? Looking for a city and state in the U.S.
New York, New York.
It is in New York, but not New York City.
Is
Albany,
it going?
New York?
I was gonna say Buffalo.
What did you say, Josh?
Albany?
It is between Buffalo and Albany.
Ooh,
I ran out of cities, I know.
I don't remember the name of the town. It ends in rock.
Begins with rock.
Begins with rock?
Bedrock?
Dang it.
Oh.
Bedrock,
Rockwell?
New York. Rock.
It's not a Pokemon.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like Rockwell or something, is it?
It is not rock. It's the first syllable is not rock, but it does begin with the letters ROC.
Oh, Rochester.
That's it.
Oh.
It is Rochester, New York. It is part of the Rochester Institute of Technology, in which myself and one of our producers went to. So that's cool.
Oh, very cool.
I got scared for a second because I thought it was actually pronounced Rochester with the way that conversation was going. I was like, no way I was pronouncing this wrong in my head all my life.
So a little bit of a fun fact that is something that you would never really know unless you do like solar stuff, which weirdly I don't. I do robotics, but we do stuff with solar fields in my job. This is on topic, trust me, I will segue this in.
I believe. You don't have to, but I believe.
There is, so a way that some solar farms are designed uses what is called CAB, C-A-B, on the ends of like rows of solar panels, right? And so CAB, as one would guess, is an acronym, and the C probably stands for, as you might guess, cable, right? It does not. CAB, C-A-B, stands for Cambrian Association of the Blind. For some
It
reason.
does not stand for cattle.
It does not stand for cable either.
Darn.
Also, this trick that I just failed is frame perfect and called soft block skip. And geez, you're probably past it. You want to talk about soft block skip while I do it?
Yeah, so soft lock skip. So normally you should be able to hit that switch and it opens the door. But since you wrong warped into the final area, some things are a little bit buggy or missing. Like there's a lot of rooms where Link is supposed to be, but he's not. And because he's not in that room when he's supposed to be, if you hit that switch, the door will open, but the cutscene won't finish, so you're just stuck there. So in order to avoid that, what you do is you have to pause on the frame that you get, that you hit the crystal. And by doing so, you can save the game and leave. And that way you can you can skip that cutscene and be able to avoid the soft lock. And incidentally enough, after that, you'll also be able to skip the 2D section where you do a bunch of acrobatics. Because the door that normally shuts between you and Link is not shut for some reason. So you actually do get to skip a lot of the final area because we wrong warp into here. And so if you miss softlock skip, then of course you have to home quit out. Fortunately, the game actually does make a quick save right before you do the trick, so it's not too slow to redo, but it does lose a little bit of time and is not ideal in a PB run.
No, it can ruin a PB, and it ruins my PBs a lot. Because unfortunately, to add insult to injury, but like we mentioned before, this game pulls at 60 FPS. So that means that if I have one frame, I have whatever the subdivision of 60 into a frame is, into one is, which is like 0.0167?
Speaking of PB,
Did you?
150-116.
Are you? All right, so Joish apparently PB'd.
I'm not kidding.
Was that time?
That's a PB. It's also my fastest null. That's a 603 null.
What the?
So apparently, if I explain softlock skip,
Yeah, the entire time you were explaining soft lock skip, I was failing soft lock skip. I just got it. And I died.
oh no.
Okay. When
All right,
is time? Was time already, or is it coming up?
Time was when I pulled the prime energy out. I almost called it by a different name, but
The T word.
But when I probably should have said that. Yeah, when I pulled the prime energy out, when it popped out and all that was time.
Okay. I think we got close enough on the stream. Well, in that case, while you're done and chilling, that means you can focus more on questions.
Yes,
That's a truth bomb.
Bring him here.
How about... Actually, Sparkle, you want to give us one?
You know what? I'll go right ahead. Thank you for the offer.
Please.
Okay, let's go with the Zelda question this time. All right. Let's go with this one. In how many Zelda games is Link right-handed in? And if correct, name the games.
Okay, so we have Skyward Sword is one of them, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom,
And Twilight Princess.
Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2. So that's 5?
Yes.
5 is right, but you got there partially the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know about
Honestly,
the
I might
first
have
3, and
I might have my research wrong for this one, to be honest.
Do we count?
I might have gotten Zelda 2 wrong.
Are we going to?
Might have been left
Yeah,
out
I mean, like,
game.
in those games, it's kind of hard to
Link's
tell.
Yeah, so...
Oh, Twilight Princess, the Wii, specifically the Wii version, or Hero
Yes,
Mode
that's
in
one of
Twilight
them.
Princess HD.
The one that I said Link immediately.
Oh,
Yeah, so,
Oh, I
so
didn't hear
Glover's
you,
got
Glover,
Twilight
I'm sorry.
Princess. Is he right-handed in Twilight Princess HD?
In HD, he is
He is in
right-handed
hero
if
mode.
you do the hero mode because it inverts the game to the Wii mode.
All right, so we're not counting that one.
no,
Otherwise,
it's like, he's like inherently right-handed.
so we have Twilight Princess Wii, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. There is one more.
Zelda 1? Or wait, or is that not one?
Oh, Skyward Sword HD.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Kind
Kind of a cheesy
So
one.
we'll do 10 for Glover's, 15 for Josh there. I mean, hey, yeah, remakes are games.
They are.
I guess so. Remakes
It is still. It
remakes
doesn't
are
stop being a video game.
remakes are games. This is today's hot take.
I mean, because, like, if you count TP Wii, then you have to count the other stuff, I feel.
Well, TP Wii was the original release.
Oh,
GameCube
didn't
was the one that was
GameCube come out
after.
like a month later.
it was.
weird.
You're right, you're right.
Well, Twilight Princess specific questions, I'm going to get them instantly. You guys could not write
Yeah,
a question for Twilight Princess.
you
I
had
won't
me on
get.
Twilight Princess.
No, yeah, literally. That's like my. I was like, I want to do TP questions because I know TP the most. But I'm like, Glover's just gonna snipe this.
So
Like, what's the
I will
point?
instantly get them.
See, there's a lot of times where we write questions not knowing like the skill sets of the players, and then there's times where we do, and it's like, do we want to just give you a freebie? And sometimes, yes.
Yeah,
this
see,
one
you
might
got
not be
Glubbers
one,
with
though.
Twilight Princess, you got me with Wind Waker. It's like,
Problem is, I also know Wind Waker.
you do know Wind Waker. This is true.
All right, how about this one's not Zelda related? Probably.
Probably.
The world record for shortest song is 1.316 seconds. What genre of music is it?
Gregorian chant.
No, but I like that. They just like say one word.
Is it? Oh yeah, that's actually a good one. Ska.
It is not ska.
Okay.
That'd be cool though. It's like the first note.
Yeah. Is it an orchestral? They just all slam.
I could see that. There's like a more general genre that I'll take, but there's also like a subgenre that is like the more correct answer. But it's definitely something that you've heard of.
A ringtone.
That is closer. No. Like a text notification.
Yeah.
This song, being 1.3 seconds, was also released on vinyl.
What?
How big
I'll
was the
talk about
line?
it more once we get it. It was a full-size vinyl.
I want a mini vinyl of the mini song though. Ooh. So prog rock was close. I'm gonna go with electro swing.
No.
I don't know this one.
The song was released in 1980. It was recorded in 1986.
Ooh. The same year as Zelda released.
There you go. There's the Zelda reference.
There's the Zelda reference. And here is the part where I use an electric piece.
Also, real quick
go,
on,
Kyle.
on my
my
game,
name.
you'll see that we're actually in the void right now, even though the void is not supposed to be here.
Yeah, so because we beat Gerudo after Hyrule, the game resets the state of the world as though we still have the rift over Hyrule.
We
So,
did it, kind
yay.
of.
Yay!
I'm not going to be able to get this one, I don't think. I'm going to get
Yeah, I
swing.
don't think I've
I'm going to
got
say
this one
swing,
either.
and that'll be my last.
It's not swing. It is heavy metal, more specifically grindcore. The song is "You Suffer" by the band Napalm Death.
Huh.
And
Dude, that's my favorite song from Donkey Konga.
it was released on a 7-inch vinyl, given away free with copies of a compilation album. The song on the B-side is also a 1-second song, making the disc the shortest single ever released. Each side features one groove on the outer edge of the disc containing the music, while the rest of the surface contains etch writing and cartoons.
I just love the idea that they put 1 second on one side and then a whole other
Yep.
second on another side.
I really like
I
that.
enjoyed that song. Time to flip the disc to listen to the other one. Okay, that was good.
No.
Takes
Good
longer to
album,
flip
good
the
album.
disc.
Yeah.
Modern day equivalent of that would be like Metallica on one side and the other side is Bluey.
Just an image of Bluey. I wonder, like, what was actually on the vinyl. See if I can find like a picture of it.
Just hooray!
The song also has 4 words. It is "You Suffer, but why?" in 1.3 seconds.
Wait, that's really fast.
It is very fast.
Wow.
So where Joish had a really good null, I have been fighting tooth and nail with null.
Oh no.
You're getting blobbed right now.
How did...
Fighting for
What?
your life.
Okay, so
Dude, why is it not pulling? No. What is this boss, dude?
Okay, so we actually didn't really have many examples of it, except for right there, where the game is interesting about its targeting mechanics.
Yeah,
So time comes on, Link grabs onto us, and when the prime energy gets pulled out of Mill, this is where time is. So it's in 3, 2, 1, now.
All right.
Yeah, well, GG.
GG's. We will have your
GG's.
final trivia adjusted time shortly. We are doing another race after this. Same game, same runners. So while we are done with this category, we are doing one more after a brief break. Let me get your times. So, in second place with a trivia adjusted time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 21 seconds is the Glovers. And winning this first race with a adjusted time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 25 seconds is Joish. So, congratulations for winning the All Dungeons race. But there is always a chance for Glovers to come back in the second race. So, that is that for this one. We have a couple announcements, and then we will take another short 5 or so minute break, if you would, Sparkle.
Oh, for sure. All right, back at it with the announcements. First up, we have that GDQ's next all-woman and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, will be live from March 9th to March 16th. Submissions are now open from now until November 24th. Well, it's ending soon. If you want to get on that, if you can, go to gamesdonequick/FramesFatales for more info. And also join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord and Twitch chat for more info.
Don't go anywhere. Again, we'll be back in just a bit for Echoes of Wisdom, any percent. Welcome back to Think Fast, the speedrunning game show of fast times and sharp minds. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Swoos.
And I'm also your host, Sparkle.
We are back with yet another race with the same runners and the same game. This time it is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom any percent restricted. In case you forgot how the game works, it is not simply enough to beat the game the fastest. Our runners are answering our trivia questions as they play, and the more questions they get right, the more seconds we take off their time. And as always, if you're watching in chat, feel free to play along. How are you both of you feeling going into this race?
Well, I'm feeling really good. Less good than if Joash didn't bot me in this category 2 hours before this started.
I mean, I guess I can say I'm doing pretty good too. I mean, just coming off a PB, I guess as well. But I will say that I definitely think this. I definitely think this race is going to be a lot closer. It's a shorter category, so the questions are definitely going to matter even more. There's a lot more risk in this category as well. The ending is a bit harder, so I'm definitely curious to see how this one is going to play out.
Yeah, I think we've both done, we've obviously been PBing, we talked about that, but we've also done, no resets, and I think we've all of our times, all of mine have been 48s. Have all of yours been 48s?
All of my no reset times?
Yeah, within, the past week.
Yeah, 48, 49. High 49, maybe.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty close under the pretense that it's going to be like a no reset and you don't PB again.
Yeah.
Well, this run will be no breaks, so if you do PB, there you go. Well, let's get started then. Without any further delay, it is time to think fast in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, so probably the first thing to talk about that's different is, like was mentioned, this is not any percent, this is any percent restricted, which, yes, that is any percent, but what exactly are we restricting, right? The game is only a month and a half old. What do you mean we not only have any percent, but we also had to restrict something? So, true any percent is, in my mind, and I believe Joish agrees with me, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that unrestricted any percent is relatively unsafe for both a race setting and a marathon setting, just because there is a major trick that saves about 10 minutes over what Resticted does. But the trick is found like fundamentally RNG. It just is RNG. It's about a coin flip for if you get it, and it can crash your game. And if it doesn't crash your game and just doesn't warp you, it loses about 2.5 minutes every time you try it. So it becomes pretty hard for like a marathon or a race setting, but not just that, it's kind of demoralizing is what we came to as a community. So we said, let's try to be inviting as a community. The community is very young. We want people to enjoy this game, and that includes any percent. So any percent restricted is kind of what we came up with for making something that people can enjoy, but is still short enough to be kind of like any percent. So we're going to not do a trick called Southern Skip, which is a goofy little trick that for some reason keeps getting different Pokemon names, and I don't really understand why. But yeah, it just skips the Southern Ruins dungeon is the main point of it. And
yeah, if you've ever seen footage of the of people building a tower to the heavens, it's that trick that we're not doing.
Yep.
And yeah, I would agree with Glovers that it's very unsafe for a marathon, and it's pretty difficult, especially with the RNG involved. And it's also like right after you do all the introductory stuff, so like you have to go through all that and then right away do a really hard trick that's very reset heavy. So it does make PB attempts pretty difficult to get through overall.
Yeah, where what we're doing is we're going to just do the dungeon, which again it loses about 10 minutes. But it's a lot more relaxed, and not even just the fact that we're doing this on stage. I just prefer this version of any percent. It's more relaxing. There's a lot of cool stuff in Southern Ruins. I just like talking about Southern Ruins. It's like probably one of my more favorite dungeons to do. So yeah,
this is actually a really good introductory dungeon, and it still is really fun in a speedrun as well. Also, it probably is also worth mentioning that in terms of the accessibility and reliability, I suppose, any percent unrestricted is fastest on the version 1.0.1, which is not the latest version anymore. And however, any percent restricted is best on 1.0, which is a lot easier for anyone to obtain. So it's also just any percent restricted is not only just a better speedrun, but it's also just a lot easier to get into.
Yeah, so some people just don't have the ability to go to 1.0.1. Those of us who have been around and had that as our main patch, we have the ability to through various means. Like, for example, I have a second switch that's on it, so I can go to it if I want to. But 1.0 is so much more accessible because every cartridge of the game, I know that there's probably a technical not quite if they just load a patch onto the cartridge, but every cartridge for this game currently just is a 1.0 cartridge. You have to download the software to not make it 1.0 anymore. So that becomes a lot more accessible. Anybody who just goes out and buys Echoes of Wisdom, all we have to do is have the forethought to not update the game when you first get it, which is itself a little bit of an ask, I get that. But that's all it takes to be able to speedrun this category optimally, which is very, very nice for the accessibility.
Does digital save any significant time over physical though?
Does digital save any time? So, okay, that's its own thing. The game was patched to 1.0.1 about a week before the release of the game. So there is no actual digital 1.0.0.
Okay, that makes sense then.
You can, through some means, get to a digital 1.0.0, and we haven't explicitly banned it yet, but we're talking about banning it because of that exact fact.
Makes sense.
But yes, to answer your direct question, yes, digital saves time over physical.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I've seen for most Switch games, if not all of them.
Mm-hmm. But
I guess it is worth...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I think you were going to talk about the same thing as me, so you go ahead.
So one thing to also mention in regards to loads between physical and digital, or not even necessarily between those two in particular, but more so between version 1.0 and version 1.0.1. So originally I'd been running all dungeons on version 1.0.1, and those of us who were running on that version, running all dungeons for that matter, we were noticing that there were a few specific loads when we were doing the wrong work setup that those loads would take around like 10 to 15 seconds. And for a while, we just thought that was normal until TGH was running on 1.0 and none of his loads were slow. And for some reason, on version 1.0, those slow loads do not exist. But on version 1.0.1, regardless of whether or not you're on physical or digital, you have these really insanely slow loads, and we don't really know why. So 1.0 physical, so far at least for all dungeons, and especially for this category for a reason we'll get to later, is the fastest version, which is good.
Yeah, it's great for a number of reasons, and it really is just an oddity. Like, some loads sometimes on 1.0.1 are slow. Like, you can do 2 runs side by side, same console, same everything. You'll have one of them that has a certain load slow, and the other one won't be, and then the reverse is true for the next time you do that. It's so weird. But whatever reason that is, 1.0 being the most accessible, other than current patch, is just kind of a healthy thing for the community. Like, it just is a healthy thing going forward, and I really appreciate that that ended up becoming true.
Yeah, we're definitely very fortunate that it worked out that way. And I guess in a way, it's also fortunate that we all, the majority of us, kind of have that mindset of, hey, let's make sure that, you know, we're 1.0 is where it's at. It's more or less, I guess, for lack of a better term. We're kind of in that mindset of we want this to be the accessible option in regards to runs that use the wrong warp.
Yeah, definitely. So, segueing back to the run a little bit, interestingly enough, I made an exact comment about this last time. So there's General Right and Minister Left that we mentioned before, right? And I mentioned how in German, Minister Left is not named that because her name would look like Link, which they probably just didn't want to do to, like, not be confusing. So Minister Left's name in German does translate to left in Italian.
Okay.
Her name is
I'm following along.
Interesting.
Italian word for left.
Incredible.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Couldn't tell ya why they did that.
I wonder how many Germans
probably like, well, it's got to be
reference.
left in some region.
Yeah, and the first one that comes to
Always
mind
close
after
enough.
German, they were eating pasta or something.
They just got off of a meeting with the Italian localizers. I'm like, you know, we like them.
Yeah.
It's like,
So-
hear me out.
Is it the same name in Italian then? I would
is
assume
a-
so.
That's a great question that I haven't
great
actually tested, but I would assume so, yeah.
I'm gonna go find that. Maybe.
No, they got really lazy and used the German name instead.
Yeah, in that it's Link.
It is different in Italian.
It is.
Oh,
Not by much, is it?
No, they're like completely different.
Really?
So in German, it is Ministerin Sinstra,
yeah, Sinistra.
where yeah, that means
sounds like it's a Pokemon from Gen 8.
Yeah.
in Italian it's Ministra Ponente, where Ponente means a speaker at a meeting.
So it's Minister?
Or no, it means west. Sorry, it means west. So like, yeah, I mean it does mean left, just west.
Okay. I mean,
But in
sure.
terms of the orientation, the king is to the north, so Minister
Left is
West
to the
is to the
east.
east.
Well, I don't know. What's Wright's name? And I assume it's
East? Yeah. That would make more sense because there's Soothorn Southern Ruins is the first dungeon. Like, they do continue that joke.
Yeah. Wright's name in Italian is Generale Levante, which means east.
I wonder if that's actually more true to, like, the Japanese translations and that, English and German had it wrong. Because I would believe that with Southern a bit more.
That would make more sense, for sure. Also, I will admit, it took me way too long to realize the Southern pun when I first played.
I got it, like, instantly, and then when I started seeing people speedrunning this game, somebody pronounced it Soothorn, and I was like, what?
Huh? Okay, then.
All right, it's been long enough. It's time for questions.
All right.
A possible strategy of catching a speedrun cheater is detecting for breaks in the mains hum in a recording. In the USA, what is the fundamental frequency of this?
Ooh.
Hertz?
In hertz, yeah.
I'm gonna say 120.
60.
It is 60.
Oh.
I was about to say 64.
It's the same frequency as the alternating current that powers the USA.
That does make a lot of sense. Interesting.
I will say, I thought this was actually going to go to the, I thought this question was going to go to the whole thing about cheaters being detected from Mario's blinking.
Yeah.
And it was worded in like a way that's like set up for more of the speedrun cheating angle rather than the audio technicality behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that has been used in Mario.
That is
Yes.
true.
Yeah. You know what else has been used in Mario? The idea that an errant particle from a solar flare hit a console.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh boy, here we go.
Iconic.
If you want a rant that I will not get into, I will actively rant about that for like 45 minutes because that is absolutely ridiculous. My thesis in school was on solar flare mechanics. And you're talking astronomically low odds, like to the point that people call it 0. No, I'm not going to get into the debate, but no.
All right.
I just felt
Instead-
So you're saying there's a chance? No.
There's always a chance. How about... I like this one. Where does the line, "Excuse me, princess," come from?
the animated
That comes
series.
from the Legend of Zelda TV series.
Yeah. What umbrella was that under?
What umbrella?
It was part of something else as well.
Ooh.
the Super Mario Super Show.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Good. Well done.
You'll both get time for that, but I'll give Joash a little bit more time.
I didn't actually know that. That was under the Super Mario Super Show. Huh. That's what we're really here for. We're here to learn.
Exactly. That's what
I've
we're all
learned
about.
a lot of things.
We learn
Like
about
how
Italian.
sound.
Yeah, so we've gone to physics class a lot.
That's it.
That's it. Just Italian.
We learned about sound dynamics. We learned about MTV.
On how loud a volcano is.
Volcanoes are very loud.
Yeah, so that's science.
Yep.
Volcanoes. Loud.
Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah, we learned about all those things. And of course, who can forget, we also learned about Chuck Yeager. Chuck Yeager was the first person to break the sound barrier. Where in the world was he when he accomplished this
He was
feat?
over the Pacific Ocean, not far from failing a trick, apparently. Not far
I didn't know
from
he
Japan.
speed, right?
No.
Really? Not far from. He was off the coast of. I thought he was off the coast.
It wasn't over an ocean.
I think this might have been Yeah, I guess at least like the first intentional.
Off the
Wasn't over a coast and we say
Atlantic
Denver.
Ocean?
Let's see. Was Chuck Yeager an American?
Yes, he was an Air Force captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nevada, maybe?
Where specifically?
Ooh. What's the alien town? Is that Rochester?
Area 51.
No, that is Roswell, Arizona.
Roswell, Arizona. Yeah.
Rochester, Arizona. It's an expansive land that is partially in Nevada.
Oh, Death Valley.
Grand Canyon?
More broad than Death Valley.
What's the desert's name?
Yep.
Mojave? No, not Mojave.
Nope, that's it. It's the
it's the
Mojave
Mojave.
Desert.
Oh, wait, no, it is the Mojave. Wait,
Yeah.
no.
Yep, that's
You got
it.
it. You said it, so you got it.
Cool.
It was on October 14th, 1947, flying a Bell X-1 rocket plane.
Huh.
And it went fast.
Let's go, Chuck.
You didn't let me give my hint of patrolling this place almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
That's
Oh.
an interesting. I have a rupee. That is an interesting hint.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
We were talking about flags in the green room, and I did not have the chance to mention that I also have a new California Republic flag in my room.
Ooh. Good old Fallout.
Good indeed. Good flag. It's California, but the bear's got two heads. I mean, come on.
Huh. What bear wouldn't be better if it had a second head?
Exactly.
True.
Going away from breaking the sound barrier, what was the first big hit to use auto-tune back in 1998?
Oh, 90.
Hatsune Miku.
Ooh. Was it by InSync?
No.
Okay.
Was it... Ooh, I'm drawing a blank on names right now.
It was by a single artist.
Single artist.
And the song is a single word.
Songs. I was about to say I'm blue, but that's 2 words, technically 3, depending on how you define a contraction.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm like drawing a blank on like all 90s songs right now.
I do not think that I can get this one, so I'm going to defer to Joish and keep trying to think of funny ones.
Well, I can maybe just throw out something random that may not even be in the 90s.
Okay.
And say, that's okay. I know that's not. I was about to say "Bad" by Michael Jackson, but I guess we have Michael Jackson on the head from earlier. But
Yeah, probably.
Cyborg.
but that is not 90s, let alone 98. So I guess that's my meme answer. I don't know.
Oh, is it the Mr. Roboto song? Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto?
No.
Isn't that 2 words though?
That is, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, I think, more than 2 words. It's just not in
No,
English.
You were saying a lot there.
I think the official song name is Mr. Roboto, but still it's not. It is by Cher.
Okay.
Know any songs from Cher?
I do not.
Okay, yeah, that might be out of my
All right.
probably heard it.
knowledge
Yeah.
range.
It is.
And is it the and I? Is it that one? Is that even Cher?
No.
Dang.
I don't think so.
I like the
It is-
disappointed no.
No. It is Believe by Cher. Probably best known for the line, "Do you believe in life after love?"
Oh, yeah, that song. Okay.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
I
if
think
you listen to it, it's like, oh, that is definitely
Yeah.
auto-tuned in like its earliest.
Well, I haven't heard that song in a while.
I am still not
That makes
familiar.
sense, though.
I was never in that one.
And then for a little bit, auto-tune was kind of called the Cher effect, and then T-Pain started using it, and then it was called the T-Pain effect.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, that was the first like big hit to actually.
I'm just imagining like
implement
Baby Sparkle being like, yeah, the
I
T-Pain
remember that.
effect.
I was there.
That's what everyone like. Auto-tune was like a meme back in the day, and it's like any artist who used auto-tune was like less deserving of like
You
praise.
are-
I was
You're not.
I was reading the wiki page for auto-tune, and it mentioned the I Am T-Pain app, and I was like, whoa, like flashbacks to like 2009.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Sparkle, you're like not denying this claim that you are just recalling memes from when you were a toddler.
Well, I mean, like it extends past like its prime, like especially memes back then. They lasted years.
Well, yeah. What's
if
that
not
about like
decades.
the meme singularity, where like they're going to eventually like get to the point where a meme only lasts seconds?
Oh, my
We're
goodness.
basically there. I mean,
Honestly, it feels like we're
right
there.
now.
Yeah, I think the singularity was supposed to be passed in like 2018.
I wish it did. You know what has been around since at least 2018?
Oh,
What audio-focused company was founded in 2006 in Sweden and now has over 600 million monthly active users?
Spotify?
That's it.
that's a good
I
answer.
was gonna say Vivo.
600 million users, bro.
I don't know.
On Vivo?
YouTube.
No, but Vivo's not on YouTube anymore.
Is it not?
No, it's been off for like years now.
I'm out of the music listening on YouTube times.
I never
I
left.
thought Vivo was still a thing.
And Spotify.
I mean, there's still a
I don't know what
but-
happened to them, but they just vanished. Now every artist is just their own name. No more Vivo.
That's good.
It's dystopian, to be honest.
It's dystopian that
I
they're
guess-
that artists are using their own names and not
Reverse
Vivos.
dystopia, utopian, whatever.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think it's terrible that Vivo doesn't control all the artists.
Yeah, Vivo was like an interesting organization in that sense, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Because it was very like possessive of the artists and the music, as I recall.
Right.
Which, granted, that's all record labels, but yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a good one. I mean, they're all good ones, but I like this one. If Echoes of Wisdom was any indication, what two Triforce-based names would the next two Zelda games have?
This is a funny question.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with
Power
Screams of Power and Whispers of Courage.
I mean, honestly, it's more creative than the actual answer.
What are your thoughts, Josh?
I'm thinking. Okay,
Whoever has the
we have
better one, I'm
Echoes
giving the
of
time to.
Yeah, we have Echoes of Wisdom. We have what did Glover say? Screams of Power
Yes,
Yep.
it's Screams of Power and Whispers of Courage.
and Whispers of Courage. Okay, so Echoes of Wisdom. Oh goodness. Glover's not having beat on this one. Okay, so Echoes of Wisdom. Might of Power and Journey of Courage.
Okay. I mean, what we have here is just Echoes of Power and Echoes of Courage. It was a ruse to make you know the other parts of the Triforce, but I like Glover's answer of keeping with the vocal theme. So instead of echoes, it's just screams.
His was definitely better.
So I'll still give you both time because you know the pieces of the Triforce, but
maybe like bellows of power. That sounds
Yeah, after I
like that
said
one.
scream,
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good
bellows is good. But after I said scream, I was thinking like cries.
scream is funny. And Ganon just gamer rages, and that's how the game starts.
Yeah, what would a game with Ganon as the protagonist be like?
Ooh, okay.
It's like Wario Land, where it's just like a quirky platformer.
Yeah, you have like the pizza tower dash and everything as Ganon.
That would be wonderful. The dash is like turning into a boar.
True.
Oh,
All right, pitch that to Nintendo.
at Nintendo. Oh, there was actually an interview with Aonuma about this game, and the idea behind like a lot of their games is that they don't fit a story to the game, which kind of makes you go, well, that explains a lot. But they instead go for like a gameplay type and then build everything around what fun gameplay mechanic was pitched, which is a really interesting way to do it.
I feel like that's how they did Wonder as well. Mario Wonder.
Oh, definitely.
They just like had a ton of ideas and just threw them all together. I think that's a good way of going about game design.
Yeah, keeps it fun.
So you don't,
I mean, for the most
you don't
part, it
shoehorn
works
yourself
well
into
for
a
them.
certain.
Honestly, pretty smart that they just have like, you know what, let's just have like a mechanic where we could just turn the game into whatever we want, and then that's
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
that's,
Give
that's the
yourself a
game.
ton of creative liberties with Wonder.
Wonder is such a gem of a game. I love that game. It took me a
I like
really
Zelda.
long time to realize it was music themed. Like, I
Makes
thought
sense, yeah.
only some levels were, but then, like, the end was too. And, like, oh, the whole game was music!
The original pitch meeting was just like, all right, what if we just did whatever we want? Okay.
Guy who wanted to make a King Boo opera singing level. This is my chance.
I've been waiting for this.
I forgot about the opera part.
Wasn't there one in one of the
It was
Mario
a big
Rabbids
boom,
games?
not King
So they just came off of that and was like, all right, hear me out. Ghost singing opera.
Well, Ghost singing opera goes, like, beyond Mario. For some reason, all ghosts seem to sing opera.
Because all ghosts passed in like the 1800s.
Yeah, there was no one that died after the 1800s.
They died with their vocal cords. Gotta do something, I guess.
Yeah, everyone
He may
that
be
died
dead,
after
but he
that
can
point
sing.
just couldn't sing. They're just really bad at it, and so they're embarrassed. That's why they go woo. Trying.
All right, you have a question for us, Sparkle?
Why, that I do. Thank you for reading me so supremely, like fellow co-host.
Of course.
In fact, check this out. All right, here we go. Compact discs were a digital data storage format that was developed by what two companies?
Ooh.
Sony.
It's one.
One.
Bose.
No.
Dang.
No.
What is the second one?
Warner Bros?
This company may or may not be affiliated with the Zelda franchise.
Nintendo? Konami.
No.
Wait, that's not even who made Minish Cap. Wait.
Capcom?
No, it is not. It's not really a game designer.
Oh,
or
Philips.
developer. It's Philips.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say they both made CD-based platforms.
What if Konami made Minish Cap? We would have like a Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, what's it called? Showing it up. I am blanking on the word. I'm going to say monologue. I'm going to go with monologue. Yugi's going to monologue. Oh.
Instead of kinstones, it's cards.
Yeah. So we're wrapping up Southern here. I'm going to guess that Josh is about at the same spot as me. But
Yeah, I'm about done too.
yeah. So one of the main things that's going to be different is what happens immediately after Southern. Is, as you might have guessed, we're going to wrong warp straight to the end of the game, because technically in the last race we could have done that at any time. There's really nothing restricting us. All we need to do is get a proper waypoint that goes to Null's body, and we can go straight there as long as we're ready. Which, as it so happens, we're ready right after Southern. You can just do it. Just go. Just do it.
Go on. Go.
Let's do it.
But what we're going to have to do is we're going to do a thing where there's that cutscene after Southern where we go and talk to Blueberry in his Blueberry dimension and all of that stuff. Yeah, ideally we're going to skip that here. And we're going to do that by playing The Floor is Lava. And that's about all the explanation that you're going to get, because I'm about to focus on the trick.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, this is a perfect time to ask you a question, right?
Yes, absolutely. If you do that,
I knew that
would
was
love
coming
that.
too.
Okay, I can do that. Here's an easy one. What was the first non-mainline Zelda game to be released on the Wii?
Ooh, Link's crossbow training.
Link's crossbow training.
That is it. Whoever's got it first.
Flubber
Very
sniped that,
nice.
yeah.
What was the first mainline Zelda game to be released on the Wii?
That was Twilight Princess. It was a launch title, basically.
That was extra free. No time for that one. What about... What is the term for a word to use to express what a sound sounds like, such as bang, whiz, moo?
Ooh,
Who says whiz?
Whiz.
that's onomatopoeia.
That's it?
No, but who still
did
says
not know
whiz?
that.
Oh, nobody. I do, apparently.
Yeah, it's the one where you go like skrrr when the car stops.
Yeah, if something whizzes by you.
Yeah, whiz. Apparently half of us knew that.
Worth noting that I copied the word from Google into the prompt because I definitely cannot spell that normally.
Ooh, I can. I was in, like, a lot of spelling bees.
I would have owned spelling bees, but I was never entered in any. My mom didn't know my secret hidden technique.
Ooh,
Of spelling.
Here is the best part of any percent restricted. So because we did what's called the Blueberry skip, where I like avoided out, I'm in a state where I can't actually warp. So to leave that state, I have to talk to the acorn guy and play the acorn minigame.
Yay!
We're not going to actually play the acorn minigame. I'm just
yay.
going to kind of leave it. But what that actually does, and it's super cool. We get to talk to the acorn guy and there's some cool music and that's about it. What that actually does is basically when you're in that escort state, you can't warp. You have restricted warping. So what we need to do is we need to enter another state where we get restricted warping, which that minigame is the best way to do it. And when we exit that state, the game doesn't just remember that I was in an escort, it just gives me warping back. And then I'm just going to go and collect a waypoint, and we're going to go straight to doing menu storage and going into Null's body.
Nice.
So yay, acorns.
Yay.
You may even call them
Also, main reason
yay-corns.
Yay, corn. Also, main reason we haven't done this trick in all dungeons yet is because I think there's an issue to where we wouldn't be able to upgrade our sword if we did this in all dungeons, but I think there is a halt in trying to route this into all dungeons, but it's still in the works
There
because
is.
of the complications of upgrading.
There is, and a lot of that person is me. And it's complicated. It's complicated. And then we go straight into Null. We're gonna, if I didn't mess up the wrong warp, which I really shouldn't have. Yay!
Yay!
Miles
I
and
think you and I are neck and neck right now.
Good
How
job.
are we?
Yeah, I think
Ooh.
so.
We're gonna see some variance in strats here because you and I, well, we might actually do Lionel skip
I think-
identically right now.
I think we do similar strats here now. I did change up my strats here recently, so
Okay, so we
not the
probably
same
do
as what I
identical
was doing
strats now.
before.
But we do have to do different strats than we did before because we obviously don't have level 2 sword, which was the major thing.
Are there any other like major differences between any percent restricted and all dungeons?
As far as like finishing the game goes, yes.
Yeah.
So it's gonna largely look the same, as in like, of course, we still have to progress through the same things, but we don't have the same tools, of course. So, for example, when we're in Null, we have to damage Null with using the sea urchins the whole way. After soft lock skip, we're going to have a point where we have to do that other fight, which that other fight is very different in terms of how you do it between any percent and any percent and all dungeons, just because I don't have the tons of tools to just beat up everything in there. You gotta be a lot more careful because you have low health. It's very easy to die. Things in a lot of these end fights do 3 hearts, and that's why we grabbed a 4th.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, if you noticed, I am at 3 hearts.
Just don't get hit.
Exactly. This has become a hitless run.
I think that's another show that does this.
This has become a hitless run where I answer trivia.
Ooh, that's
All
us. All right. In that case, a 50 decibel sound is how much louder than a 30 decibel sound?
200%.
No.
No. Wait, are we answering in percents?
In multiple. Like how many times?
Multiplicative.
It was 50 and
4
30.
times? 4 times?
Yeah.
200.
No.
50 times.
No.
Uh, 35 times?
Further away.
Wait, I
I
keep...
think Clever's is the right idea.
Okay, so
I think
150 times.
What is
getting there.
6? 6.
Just 6.
6 times.
That is-
Yeah.
that is
6
way-
times.
way-
because it's
way
30
not
over
that way.
5. It's 30 over 5, so it's 6 times.
No.
Not the right notation. Well, I guess not. That's the wrong term. But, you know.
Is it 180 times?
Wait, no, it's 50 over... Oh,
Regardless, it is decibels are a logarithmic scale. So,
yeah, so it's multiples of... It's base 10.
right.
So it's 50 over 3. What is 50 over 3?
I don't know.
18?
It is a lot simpler than you're making it out to be.
I tend to do that.
I don't know at this point.
Okay, so if it's base 10... 20 versus... Link, can you stop? Thank you, Link. Let's see, so 50 decibels. So, okay, going back to just basics, 2 decibels is 10 times louder than 1 decibel. Yes? Yes.
No.
No? Wait, you can
You're
jump.
on the right track, but you're on the wrong scale.
Oh, okay.
There is some number where it is 10 times, but it's not 1 and 2, or it's not n and n plus 1.
Okay, so then that would mean...
Yeah, I'm lost on this one.
We're in the algebra discussion now.
We are in the algebra discussion now, and this is actually a free algebra discussion because I am doing exponentials in my brain. The exponentiate, it has to be 10 to the... 10 to the... 10
We're
to
so
the,
close to getting it.
10 to the 20?
No.
Okay, I'm going way too far.
Yeah.
Ooh. 10 to the 10 to the 2. That's 100.
It is 100.
All right, we got there.
Every 10 decibels is 10 times, so 20 decibels is 100 times.
Yeah, it wasn't obvious. I got very lost there.
That was definitely one of the questions.
I was way in the
One of the
weeds.
questions of all time. Yeah, I was
just
I was
100.
I was just
Really
lost.
grease
The blubber
mines, yeah.
Just let you get it, yeah.
too deep in.
I got soft lock skip while doing that.
Nice.
Good job.
And I
I'd
also
like to
fought
know
null while
while
doing
doing
that.
that.
I
Next
have
time
not
you're
died from null
focusing in
yet.
a run, just do math.
I have had many a run where somebody says something in chat that's like physicsy, and I'm like, I'm gonna rant about that. And then I do, and then it's like 40 minutes later, and I'm like, I'm ahead. And I don't know how I got here.
You kind of just let autopilot take over.
Exactly.
Generally, it works.
It's happened before.
All right, my favorite any percent strat is that Link doesn't exactly get a say in where he's attacking from because there's too many sea urchins, so he gets held by me while I just do this. This is one of the differences.
Yeah, Link will have a tendency to, at worst, while you're attacking Null, just stare at the wall and do nothing.
Yeah, so Link is affectionately, in the best way possible, he's a Bronze 5 player.
Bro's a level 1 Nana.
Oh no.
He's a level 1 CPU Nana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at 0%.
Just off doing his own thing, like grabbing
Yeah,
nothing,
0%.
doing an up tilt when you want to jump. It's just like, God,
Link, get over
oh,
that.
man.
This actually turns into a co-op game. And the person you're playing with is like a child. That's why.
Yeah, basically. Oh, there was like a screen that I saw, and I couldn't replicate it, so I don't know what exactly happened. There was a point where I was connecting a controller, and instead of saying one player can play this game, it said 2 players can play this game. And when I tried to connect the controllers, and when the game actually restarted, like my controller had disconnected is what it was, I grabbed the second controller, and it let me connect 2 controllers, and then it immediately went to the who's playing.
Interesting.
But I wonder if they were maybe thinking about adding co-op at some point.
Maybe it's on like Galaxy, where one person like doesn't really do anything, but they're kind
That's
of
the
just
funniest
there.
co-op game of
It
all
is the
time.
greatest co-op game of all time.
They could have just not
Right.
done anything, but no, they decided to like just meme
Player
and just
2
for no
gets
reason
a cursor. I
have
mean,
the dumbest co-op.
it makes speedrunning very funny because you just have people like taping 2 Wiimotes together to play co-op.
Wait, what does it let you do? Like get star bits twice as fast?
I don't know exactly, but
I think
it's,
you can
yeah, it's something like that.
star
Oh, you can
bits and
shoot-
also
you can
make
shoot
Mario
double
jump.
star.
You can also stun enemies too.
And you can grab the star bits like with that cursor while the other person's playing, and it's the most you are the 3-year-old
But then-
kid while the kid brother's playing.
But then wouldn't you just do that with your own cursor? Because you're putting in the effort to use the Wiimote to point at the screen anyway.
So the
Why need 2 Wiimotes?
the optimal 80% run does use 2-player mode.
Yeah.
They have taped Joy-Cons together. Or like rubber banded or something.
Yeah, it's so goofy.
How is Link in the sky there? What?
You know, just doing Link things.
It's funny like that.
The sequel to Linkin Park, Linkin
Maybe.
Sky.
Link in the sky.
Oh no.
All right, how about another question to think about?
Ooh, I would
Music
love
has
another
been a
question.
mainstay. Music has been a mainstay in game for the Legend of Zelda series. But what was the first musical instrument that could be found in the series? Assuming you're playing the games like as intended and not speedrunning.
Ooh. That is the first thing that's in Link's Awakening. What is that? Is that the pan flute?
It is not in Link's Awakening.
Is it not?
Is it the recorder, the whistle?
Yep. That is it. From which game?
The original Legend of Zelda.
Yep. Do you know which dungeon?
It is in level 4. I want to say
5.
4. No, yeah, it is 5. It is 5.
But
right.
yep. It is the recorder or whistle from the original Legend of Zelda in the 5th dungeon. Level 5, the wizard. The lizard, sorry.
I was gonna say.
I was about to say the wizard is level 6.
The wizard.
Wait, do they actually have like subtitles for levels in Zelda 1?
No, but I think they list them in the game's manual.
Oh, like in the manual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
there's the eagle, the moon, the manji, the snake, lizard, dragon, demon, lion. And then apparently in the second quest, it's just level 1 through 9.
Oh my goodness, I got the thing.
Free me from my prison. Thank you.
Oh, you too?
Yeah.
I died to Null again, also.
I haven't died, and I just finished Lizalfos phase, which is not home free. As I have learned a lot in the past few days, that is not home free.
Oh,
No, dude, I got caught.
That was English.
Porky Pig?
Do it, Link. Do it. All right, now I'm home free.
GG.
I was just about to ask too how much damage he does with each hit, and now I was okay. Well,
Okay, so Link damage is actually kind of complicated. The short answer is that Link in here is always a level 2 sword. And this will be time coming up here in just a moment. But the more complicated answer is that there's a state when you're pulling the arms there that when they turn more whitish, and time will be in, hold on, and time. And when you're pulling the arms, they turn into like a whitish state. And that whitish state is able to be insta-killed by Link specifically with a quick spin. So that's like what we do is try to pull it to that point where he can just insta-kill it because it bypasses all damage like requirements.
GG's to lovers. I guess while we're here, do y'all have any shout-outs you would like to make at the end of the round here?
Ooh, I would like to shout out just the general community. Like, the Echoes of Wisdom community is honestly, in the like couple of months that we've been around, it has been the most inviting, wholesome, kind community that I've been in since I first started with the Twilight Princess community. They're the only one that I would say is on a comparable level. They are amazing. If you're at all interested in learning to speedrun this game, there are so many people who will just be there to help you, including me, but you won't recognize me, and I'm not going to say why.
No, I do agree. I do agree with that a lot. Like, Echoes of Wisdom community has been exceptional. I've been quite happy to see it be that way.
Yeah. So I would also shout out Joish for joining me on this. This was a wonderfully fun thing to do. So thank you so much. And for GDQ for inviting us on. Like, this was so much fun.
Yeah, I definitely want to especially thank GDQ for allowing me to do this twice. I definitely feel very thankful to have been able to do this twice. I've had a lot of fun both times.
Yeah, we're thrilled that you've been on, and thank y'all for being here for sure. I guess we can get one more question in.
Yeah.
couldn't hurt.
Do a really, really quick one. Right after you finish, Josh.
Anytime.
Nice. GG.
Go.
All right. For the last
Yay.
question of the day. Which is faster, the speed of sound in air or water?
Speed of sound in air.
I would say air.
It is water.
You're both wrong.
Speed of sound in water is about 4 times faster than in air.
Oh, that's
Water's more-
Because the sound can like get through the water faster.
But water's more viscous. Okay, I'm gonna actually look into that. That's actually super interesting.
I would have never thought that.
Yeah, it's due to like the compressibility of a liquid and stuff like that. But yeah, that'll do it. Your final trivia adjusted times are in second place with a time of 48:31 is Joish, and winning the second race and thus making it a 1-1 in races is the Glovers with a time of 46:22. So congrats to both of you for having won a race. You'll have to
Very nice.
figure out a tiebreaker at some point.
Yeah, we
So-
will.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, I do like a dumpster brawl or something. That's on the back there, you know.
What was the RTA time for mine?
It would have been 47:52.
Okay. There was quite a bit of an adjustment then. When you said a
Yeah, it
time
was
lower than my PB, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was a minute 30 different, or a minute 30 for trivia, and Joish had a minute 40 for trivia. So post on trivia for the second race at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, thank y'all for being on. That is it for Hotfix for tonight. But we do have a couple more announcements before we head out, if you would, Sprinkle.
That is true. The last few announcements we have for you today are, if you missed out on any of our shows or events, be sure to check out the VODs on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. As well, your Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel or to get access to our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays. And last but not least, go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out our Season 4 schedule and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at this week's runs. You won't want to miss them, so get on that. Thank you very much.
One last thing, tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for Awfully Silly, followed by Express Lane, and you can also visit gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to see all of our upcoming shows and schedule. We just started Season 4, and we have a couple new shows, so give them some love as well. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Feel free to stick around for the replay of tonight's show, and that's the outro. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Fun. Thanks.